first leg of a big double-header tonight here on 7. Immediately after this game, you can see a replay of Game 4 played tonight at Waverley between Fitzroy and Geelong. Just 11 days ago, the West Coast Eagles and Adelaide met under lights here. It might have been billed as a practice match, but that didn't stop 26,000 fans turning up to see the Crows win by 28 points. Football is God in the city of churches, and nothing inflames the locals more than watching their home team firing. Adelaide and the West Coast Eagles, followed by Fitzroy and Geelong from Waverley Park in Melbourne. A real footy feast. And I must say, we've been recruiting. There's a new face on 7 Sports, South Australia's Mr. Football, Neil Curley. Let's take a look at the Knuckles file. And this is not a bad CV. As you can see, premierships spanning 3 decades. Quite remarkable. Neil Curley is down on the boundary tonight. What about the atmosphere, Neil, in the rooms and the state of the ground? The ground looks absolutely terrific, but we must say it's pretty warm tonight.
Yes, Dennis, that's true. The ground, of course, once again, the team groundsman and Doug Butterfield have done a great job here. Magnificent surface to play on. No excuses tonight for players to fumble or fall over, although the grass is a touch long, and if they're wearing moulded soles, they may slip a little bit. The conditions in the room, well, the feel and the smell of the atmosphere, I must say, was much more intense from the Adelaide rooms. The West Coast Eagles, I've never seen them prepare before, and they may just be a little low-key. They were certainly low-key tonight, but not so in the Adelaide rooms. They were fired up. Andrew Jarman in particular was very enthusiastic. The preparation was good. They're focused on what they have to do, and I think tonight we're in for a great game of footy.
So the smell is back, and that's good news. Mr. Football in South Australia, Neil Curley, an old face, from a new face to an old face. Some introduction. Hello, Bernie. How are you? What about these two sides?
Yeah, well, I think it's quite amazing. As you said, 26,000 people turning up here a couple of weeks ago for a practice match. The support here in South Australia is enormous, and as Neil said, I think the intensity would be more fierce in the Adelaide rooms than in the West Coast rooms because of the local support. But we see they announced their team leaders tonight. Chris McDermott again is the captain for 1994, Tony McGuinness vice captain, and
not much help either, is there?
No, not
the naming
really,
of these sides. I mean,
they make
the
it very
squad is still
difficult,
30. Yeah, the squad is still 30.
The deputy vice captain is Bickley, which is tremendous. He's a terrific goal mark, Bickley, and one of the real team leaders, I think, on the field for them.
We talked about that practice match where the West Coast Eagles came with a lot of stars out. That has changed, of course, tonight. I think 8 changes in their team, and most of them named players as we take a look at the Eagles.
Well, that player there was Schofield on screen there with the crew cut, Jared Schofield. But they really struggled a little bit last year, Dennis, the West Coast Eagles. After round 17, they still went into 6. But they've got some very exciting players there. Turley's back on the list, not playing tonight, but Peter Sumis, they really need him to produce something this year. A little bit quieter last year. He has 70-odd goals, just not enough, really, for what they really needed to get into the top 6 and win the competition.
Okay, thanks, Bernie. So about 30,000 people here at Football Park. Expectations high in both South Australia and Western Australia for the Adelaide Crows and the West Coast Eagles. Back with all of the action right after this.
The name of the game is Australia.
So back at Football Park, this is Game 3 in the Foster's Cup Series, and tonight the West Coast Eagles against the Adelaide Crows. And joining us is Peter Landy. And Pete, what do you see for these two sides in the upcoming season?
Good evening, Den. Well, going through the sides last week, I penciled in Adelaide for possible premiers. I thought with the final 8, they're going to make the finals. They're going to practically win every game at home. If they have a home final here, they're just about in the preliminary final, and I think they'll do better than last year. So be a good bet for the flag. The Eagles will be there too.
Jarman on the bench, Brown was there, Scott Lee was there, which is something of a surprise. As we said, very hard to get the squad. Also than the initial 30.
Sorry, Dennis. Also Pittman on the interchange bench, and the fullback picking up Sumich is the new player for the Adelaide Crows, in Sean Wellman.
Did a good job in that scratch match. Modra picked up by McIntosh. That happened late last year. So Brennan takes the pocket, and that's Hall. First centre bounce then. Sean Wren and Paul Harding. Up they go. One down by Harding. It rolls about 15 metres away from the centre circle. Scrambly football. Eventually it comes out to McDermott. Well played by Maynard initially. The ball comes inside the 50. Wilson's hand pass, a sweeping one, out towards the half-back flank position. And leads in the race. Sockers off the ground and gets it out of bounds. The attacking side of right centre wing. The Adelaide Crows.
I see with Wellman playing on the back line, Dennis, we've got Ben Hart playing around the half-forward line, maybe half-forward flank or forward pocket.
Fine, hot and cloudy. Well, it's all of that. Certainly very warm at the present time. Anderson scrambles it forward, gained about 20 metres, close to the boundary line. Pike, good hands. Jakovic, hard against the line. Did he keep it in? He did. On the bounce, it's gone out and will be thrown in on the wing.
Playing in Darwin. The Eagles bench, they'll be sweating it out tonight. Won't need the tops at all with an overnight low of 19. There's Lyle nearest the camera, formerly from Port Adelaide. Groom goes up, loses it against Harding. Pike right on the boundary line, tempted smother by Bickley, and the mark is taken by Jamison. Across the half-back line for Adelaide. Terrific crowd tonight, still building. Distance with the kick. Harding can't take it. Ball scooped out the front of the pack to the edge of the square. Little kick off the ground. Matera goes in solidly, sporting a bit of a beard this year. Jakovic is kicked out towards half forward, and the mark taken by Wren on his own. Ross peels off, could have gone with him. Lewis directing a player to pick up a man. Not a great kick off the boot. Banfield back to Matera. He'll go for the long kick. Smothered, but the Eagles have the numbers. Banfield backs up well, takes a hand pass, 45 metres out, goes at goal, and it looks pretty good. It's there. So first blood to West Coast, and a nice kick. Well, Super Boot would have been pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, it was a good kick on the run, wasn't it, Peter? But the poor play there coming from Sean Wren, that scrappy kick from across half-back after he went back with the flight of the ball, took a terrific mark. Was courage there going back with the flight of the ball to take that mark, and the scrappy kick setting this up for a terrific kick on the run there. Great goal, in fact, from Banfield.
Wren, McGuinness, McDermott and Rashudo in the centre square for the Crows. Again, Harding backhands it down. That's Rashudo over the ball. Dragged off it. Again, Maynard working hard at the base of the pack. And we've got a whistle and the ball will be bounced. 3 umpires tonight. Innovation for Foster's Cup. We'll watch that closely. Wren gets it down. Anderson's got the run of it. He's the master of the quick kick. He gets this one down towards half forward. Wiedemann's in front. Worsfold working hard against him. Wiedemann on his knees. Got the hand pass away to no one in particular. Lip tack. Collides there with Wilson. Put down. Spills wide. Socket off the ground. Gained about 5 metres initially by Harding. Then in turn Lewis. Picked up by Jamison. Gets it to Hart. Hart swings it back out wide towards right half forward. And Groom low down takes the mark. About 80 metres from goal, Chris Groom unloads a long one down in Modra direction. Modra was up. It was a token gesture though. Hart comes away, puts it back towards the grandstand wing. Matera stretches out. Hand passes to his own advantage. He's tracked by Tregenza. He's got the pace to break away. The boundary line is close. He sockers it off the ground. He can go again. Solo effort. Peter Matera, look out. Visca came at him hard. The ball's gone out on the full. It'll be an Adelaide free kick and a collision behind play by Matera and Visca, the one that didn't eventuate initially.
They were going 100 miles an hour, weren't they? Kick by Wren. Again, not a good one. This time to the advantage of the side.
They're bringing it back
to come back, yes.
Yeah, they're bringing it back.
It was just a little side swipe, wasn't it?
The wrong player took the kick there. Chris McDermott to take this kick from half back for the Adelaide Crows.
And again, as we mentioned, named as captain. McDermott's kick to the edge of the square. No one can take the mark. Hart goes in solid there, applies a tackle. Might be too high. No, says the umpire, it's going to be a bounce. Pretty well close to centre wing. Graham Corns. Not in that box as well as it is here. Not a high bounce. Chance for Tregenza. Sharks it well. Kick doesn't travel the required distance. The umpire calls play on. Clappe a quick kick up towards midfield. That only travels about 35 metres as well. Knocked away from McKenna. Anderson. Another collision. Eagles in the front. To Crow's ball now. Ross. Worsfold. Won't bounce kindly for him. Clappe gives him back up support. Anderson goes to the boundary line. The ball's over.
Whistle before that, Peter. It's against Jonathan Ross for interference on John Worsfold.
And the skipper goes for the hand pass. Back to McKenna. And back to Worsfold. Didn't really gain too much from that. And finally the skipper's kick down towards the half-forward line. Wren on to Bickley on his own. Quick hand pass. McGuinness back into the side tonight. His kick up to midfield.
Groom's in front. Almost a clever mark. Bounces off his chest. Hart, the quick hands away to Tregenza. Tregenza back to Groom. Found a little space for Liptak. Across it comes to McDermott. Great footy from 40 metres out. It looks good. It's a goal.
Well, appropriately, the captain gets the first goal.
Yes, and they've been criticised in the past, the Adelaide Crows, for the overuse of the handball, but on that occasion we can see how they can use it to their advantage. The side in the AFL competition that uses the handball more than any other side is the Adelaide Crows, and we see their Liptak in a lot of trouble, but the support coming there from the skipper in Chris McDermott, and the shot on the run from 40 metres right through the middle.
9 handballs to Adelaide and 4 to the West Coast so far. Scores level. McDermott getting the first goal. The new skipper, a re-elected skipper for the Crows. Rasciuto, the most promising youngster, kicks up towards half forward. Big pack of players. None can take it. McGuinness taken when he seemingly didn't have the ball. Anderson reads it well. Moderate territory. McIntosh in front nearly takes the mark, and then it's out of bounds. Forward pocket. Right forward pocket for Adelaide, and it's going to be a throw-in some 20 metres from the behind post. Adelaide 1-2, 2-1 on, and West Coast 5-4 here at Football Park tonight. Pike overruns it. Down goes Banfield. Might have been too high. And McDermott's going to take the kick, is he? And the umpire calls play on. It was his kick originally. McIntosh reads it best there from fullback. Decides to go for a run. Mainwaring gave him the advice. He gives him the hand pass. Mainwaring just off the edge of the centre square. Kick up towards half forward. There's Schofield, new youngster for West Coast. McKenna might have been taken a little bit low, but it's going to be a Schofield free kick. Too far out to score. Still inside the square. Gone for the short pass. Harding doesn't let him down. He marks within kicking distance. Formerly of Hawthorn, formerly of St Kilda in the VFL/AFL. He's gone for a short pass as well to Carl Langdon.
Some very poor manning up there, Peter, from Rodney Maynard, who's picking up Carl Langdon. Carl Langdon playing centre-half forward this evening for the West Coast Eagles.
I think he played only 1 or might have been 2 games last year.
Yes, he's had a lot of problems with injury, Carl Langdon.
Just the one, Pete.
49 metres out. And you don't need me to tell you what happened to that kick. It's out of bounds.
And I've got to say too, Pete, he maintained a very high profile for a one-game player. Carl Langdon in Western Australia.
Surprising.
Ball comes in. Down goes Wellman, met very solidly by Mainwaring, who appears to have bulked up a little bit. Boundary throw in right on the 50.
Well, that one was on. Wellman, as Neil Curley told me earlier, very much built in the mould of Ben Hart.
Well, at the moment, he's not a well man. close to the boundary line, pushed across by Hart, and it will be thrown in.
Let's have a look again at the hit on Wellman here. Mainwaring lining him up from about 10-15 metres away and crunch.
Welcome to the big time, son.
I don't think he got him properly there, Peter, or he wouldn't have got up so quickly.
Brave work though, kept his eye on the ball. McGuinness over the ball, tries to knock it out. Lewis does that eventually towards the boundary line. Tregenza and Mainwaring, that'll be an interesting duel. Bisker's got it, collides there with Pike. He smothers the hand pass, knocks it across the boundary line. It will be thrown in once again. Michael Malthouse looking on. Wants his chances, I think, tonight. Coming off that loss in the practice game. Wren goes up, directs it forward. Opportunity for Lewis, nicely done. Schofield deep in the pocket. He is a sharpshooter, but he's forced across the boundary line. And another throw in. Jared Schofield played his one and only senior game last season against the Swans in Sydney. That was back in round 11. He looks aerodynamically sound tonight. Thrown in. Wren knocks it forward. Taken by McGuinness, who's been busy. An opportunity for McKenna. Back comes McGuinness. Across the boundary line it goes. And another throw in. It's a goal apiece at Football Park, game 3 in the Foster's Cup.
20-minute quarters in the Foster's Cup. Plus time on. Boundary throw in. Right forward pocket for West Coast. Wren up high. Kick off the ground by Jamieson. Succeeds in getting the ball to the other side. And once again we'll see a throw in. Same distance. I think Wellman's going to come off.
It's just favouring that left arm by the looks of things, Peter, and who's been replaced by number 21, and that's David Brown for the Adelaide Crows.
Girls, you've got some news from downstairs?
Yes, well, Wellman off with a shoulder. Brown to half forward, Hart to full back.
McGuinness again. Lewis in the forward pocket. Centering kick. Wren doing some good work down there. Takes the mark. And he's going to have to come back. Crowd doesn't like that. Sean Wren in the right back pocket. This time he's going to have a kick and go to the outer side. Langdon on the mark. That's a good kick. Better than his first tonight. No one can take the grab. Mainwaring. Plenty of got taken high. No doubt about that.
Clipped there by Rashuto.
Back to Banfield. He looks to have beefed up since last year. Wilson. Banfield former #1 draft pick. Oh, good mark. Out in front, taken by Guy McKenna.
Playing tonight also on the forward line. Guy McKenna, usually a very reliable half-back.
Quick pass, and he's found Brett Spinks, one of the newcomers in the West Coast Guernsey. I think he has a brother plays for Sydney.
Drafted the same year, actually, back in '92. His brother, as you say, went to the Sydney Swans.
He's a big boy, Dennis, isn't he? 195 centimetres.
Yeah, both very good size. Jason's the brother.
Brett Spinks from 45 metres out directly in front. Goal umpire right underneath it, and 4 points.
So a very good looking kick for goal there by Brett Spinks, the new boy for the West Coast Eagles. Only 19 years of age, 195 centimetres and 94 kilograms. And there we see the replay, that kick from around about the 37-38 metre mark. Terrific size about this boy, and that's what they need on that forward line. Sumich not performing all that well last year. They need a couple of avenues of attack in that forward line.
So the Eagles lead it by 6 points. Just under 11.5 minutes till quarter time. Wren directs it down to Rashuto. Kick is smothered, spins across towards support. Maynard was going nowhere. Banfield pushed in the back, says the umpire. He'll get the free kick.
Did look a pretty good tackle.
Plays on immediately to Schofield. Schofield probing kick inside the 50. They've got the numbers down there, the Crows, but they stood around and watched Carl Langdon take the mark. Most unlike Sean Wren, really didn't commit there. Stayed off. And the mark has been taken by Carl Langdon about 40 metres from goal.
Yeah, it's a good lesson there, Dennis. If the ball's in your area, you really must go for it.
And he's
especially
normally
the ruckman there,
yeah,
because the player there in front, Rocky Maynard, was really out of position.
Normally so good at that, Sean Wren. Langdon spears a goal. The third for the Eagles.
Langdon was, I guess you could say, nursed in that practice match they played here a couple of weeks back, Dennis, wasn't he? He was used rather sparingly in the forward pocket from what I saw.
Yes, it was clever use of the body there by Carl Langdon, just holding Maynard out of that contest. So
the Eagles' goals to Banfield, Langdon and Spinks.
Here it is again, this replay. We see Langdon just holding him off there, just a slight nudge keeping Maynard out of it. But Sean Wren, the player, as Dennis said, quite rightly should have been involved in that contest.
Eagles slip away by 12 points. Harding to the same place again. McDermott's in the road, boots it out wide. Peter said he's captain. Well, that wasn't etched in stone over the past couple of weeks. He'd be relieved with that, I think. Wilson's boot down towards half forward. Solid work there. Visca on Spinks. The ball spills out of bounds. We've got a throw in left half forward for the West Coast Eagles, who have done most of the attacking so far in this game.
10.5 minutes left in the first quarter at Football Park. Boundary throw in. Will be taken by Spinks. Fresh air shot that time. This is Clappe, seemingly with plenty of time. Kicks up towards Langdon. Hart should have taken the mark. Langdon butters up quickly, tries to get the hand pass back in the Sumic's direction, but the ball rushed over the line for one behind to West Coast, their first of the night, with 10 minutes left in the term. Peter Sumic still the preferred option at full forward. Tregenza, as we mentioned earlier, could have a great deal tonight. With number 30 for West Coast, Peter Matera. As real speedsters. This is Jamison at left half back. Good long kick to half forward. Wiedemann punches it clear. Brown, who came on to replace Wellman. Quick hand pass. McGuinness, long left foot, could almost be a score. Will it get there? Yes! Great kick from Tony McGuinness. One of the best left footers in the competition. And looked that he was going to get the distance almost as soon as it left the lace.
Yes, here it is, the replay of this. A good long clearing kick out of defence there by Rodney Jamison, one of the best kicks in the competition. And good roving there by David Brown, who came on to replace the injured Wellman. McGuinness from right on that 50-metre line. Didn't have a lot of time to steady, but a great kick for goal from Tony McGuinness.
19 plays 12. David Hart's got the job on Tony McGuinness tonight. That's unusual because normally Don Pike tracks him. McGuinness is getting a few touches. Well, not much happened there of note in terms of ruck play, but Harding's going to get a free kick.
They weren't all that interested in the ball really, Dennis, were they?
No, Harding's been doing well against Wren so far. He boots it down towards half forward. Opportunity for Bickley. Keeps it in front. Nicely done. Rashudo against the flow. Breaks away from half back. McDermott back to Rashudo. They've got runners everywhere. This is Liptak, kicks inside the 50, Modra's out in front, timely fist from McIntosh, worth a kick back towards the wing, it's taken by Mainwaring, he goes down towards half-foot, McKenna's in front, big leap by Bickley, Ross has got the ball at close quarters, gets it across to Visca, who heads for the boundary line, it stays in, we've seen that happen already tonight, something about this wing, softly off the ground by Tregenza, Tregenza trying to do a Matera, gets it onto support, Liptak in trouble, back to the voice supplied by Wiedemann, Wiedemann 60 metres out, down towards the kickoff line. Modra McIntosh. Oh, good use of the body by Brennan. Arrived at just the right time. Chips it towards the boundary line. Runs it across in Adelaide's left full forward pocket.
Brilliant support there for McIntosh because Modra did the right thing. He had McIntosh out of the contest, but Michael Brennan, realising the danger, was over there very quickly.
And Tony Hall making his debut for Adelaide, although he did play in the practice match, of course. Tregenza. Across the goal, badly weighted kick. Anderson gets back quickly, but Clappe gets there just a little bit before him. Anderson, with skill and speed, gets buffeted. In fact, buffeted into it. Anderson taken high. Could have got a free kick. The crowd roaring for it. Matera. He's in fine form already. Oh, brushes one tackle. He's caught this time. And would you believe by Wren? Great stuff.
That's terrific.
McDermott. 50 metres, is it? Now what's happening?
Yeah, Matera remonstrating there with Sean Wren. And it will be a 50-metre penalty against Matera. Not liking the tackle. Here we see the tackle again in replay. Matera, he took him on and lost it. A very good tackle from the big man, Sean Wren.
Terrific stuff all round. End result, 50-metre penalty. And the chance for an Adelaide goal. Their first two goals kicked by captain and vice-captain. I guess Mark Bickley should get the next one, but Sean Wren has the chance to put one through. Poor kick cost Adelaide a goal from one of his efforts earlier. Chance to make up for it here. Right on 50. Gets the distance. Goal umpire hasn't moved. Great kick. Goal. Sean Wren gets his first after goals by McGuinness and McDermott, and the West Coast by 1 point.
He only kicked 6 goals in 1993, big Sean Wren. But there we see the value of having a mobile ruckman in the side. 198 centimetres. He's a very big boy. But mobility second to none really in the ruckman division. He did the tackling and finished it off after that 50-metre penalty had been applied against Peter Matera.
Eagles by a point. Harding, Matera, Pike and Banfield start in the centre square for the Eagles. Wren goes up, the goal kicker gets it down to McGuinness, who kicked the previous goal for the Crows. It spills out to Tregenza. Nice tackle applied there by Lewis. It comes across to Bickley. Bickley boots inside half forward. Broom was in front, fisted away, diving on top of it. Brown coming in solidly was Hart. Well, Wiedemann just robbed him of the ball, lays it back towards McGuinness, who was pushed in the back by Jakovic, and he'll get a free kick.
He played it very cleverly there, Dennis, Tony McGuinness. The handball wasn't spot on. McGuinness turning his back towards the player and receiving the push in the back. There's experience for you. Tony McGuinness just stumbling and Jakovic right in the middle of his back.
McGuinness from inside the centre square sets it up for Hall this time. Modra over the top. They don't want that, the two of them flying together. Harding to Hart, who can run it out. Whoops, a little indecisive. That was a terrific front-on tackle. I think it was laid by Bickley. It comes to Lee meantime. Lee kicks a goal from 40.
It was a magnificent tackle. Adelaide on fire. They kicked the first goal, but since then West Coast replied very quickly, and we're leading by 2 goals. But since then we've seen the Adelaide Crows fight back very strongly. We see this tackle again. I think it may have been Groom,
I think it was Groom,
who did apply this tackle. Fantastic performance. The big players really becoming involved in the tackling side of the game. Sean Wren applying that earlier one, and the centre half forward there, Groom, putting that tackle on Hart.
So the Crows in front now at Football Park. No wind advantage. That could be another push in the back. It will be. McDermott to take it.
This is where they're very strong, aren't they? Around midfield with McDermott, McGuinness, Bickley in there, who's been named Deputy Vice Captain.
So I think they'll win the flag this year. Motley, we've got everything. As long as this guy can stay injury-free, and Tony Hall up forward to give them that two-pronged attack. And maybe Hall can succeed where Hodges couldn't, playing with Modra on the forward line.
And I would have thought that was a very good choice too, with McIntosh playing at fullback with his pace on Tony Modra. Modra kicked 123 goals in 23 games in 1993.
Good strike rate, Bernie.
A great performance. He hasn't been in the game all that long.
Tony Modra for his first goal tonight. 55 metres out. Oh, terrific kick. Gee, they're kicking him from a long way out. Modra's first goal, and the Crows go further ahead.
Yeah, we see the lead again. He's made it very difficult so far for Modra, Ashley McIntosh, because of his pace and his ability to stay with the full forward. But that kick spot on, hit him on the chest. Great lead from Modra, very committed, and hit him right on the chest.
Just under 6 minutes till quarter time. And the Crows have come from behind. They fell off the pace early. They lead now by 11 points. Harding wins it down again. McKenna punches it on towards half forward. Spinks has it. The hand pass ill-directed. McKenna's got the run of it. Keeps it in front. Mainwaring was standing in front of him. Eventually Banfield could have been taken high. Anderson comes away. In fact, the ball will come back. The umpires has awarded this free kick, 1 of 3 to Banfield. McKenna and McDermott jousting a little. Here's Banfield. First man taken in the draft last season. Goes down towards the 50-metre line. Out in front, Sumich. Haven't seen a lot of him so far. Jamison to Hart. The guys who applied a good tackle on Sumich initially. Boots it around the outer side. Wilson's in front. Lee from behind finds the boundary line. Eventually. And it will be thrown in outer side. 5 straight Adelaide. The West Coast Eagles are 3-1. So just the one blemish in kicking at goals so far tonight. Some very good goals kicked. A scratch match between these two sides. The practice game 11 days ago, also of a very high standard. Harding boots it down towards half forward. Matera tries to reach over the top. Spinks couldn't control it. Back comes Matera looking for a free kick. Bickley right after him, close to the boundary line. Socket off the ground by Lewis. Gained about 20 metres. Sumich, well, a little reluctant to come to the ball. Cleared a path for Spinks. Spinks fires at goal. Doesn't miss by all that much. It's a behind. So the second of the match and the second for the West Coast Eagles.
3-2 their tally. 3-2 to 5 goals. So 5 scoring shots, but the difference 10 points. Ben Hart to bring the ball back under 5 minutes left in the first quarter. In summer conditions here, 29 degrees, the current temperature. So they'll earn their pay tonight off the hands of the pack. McDermott to half forward, Wiedemann in front, then succeeds in knocking the ball further forward. Worsfold, some clever footwork there to get the ball towards the pocket. Follows it up himself, the skipper. Wiedemann, out of his road, Brown, Wiedemann again, hooks it across the body, one-on-one duel, Jakovic, good punch away, and the Eagles are going to get clear. Hart takes it from half-back, Langdon. Well, if he can fire again in 1994, be a real bonus, be like a new recruit. Hart kicks to half forward, no mark, Lewis with strength and speed, over to Matera, who steadies, lines them up, but has missed to the far side. One behind, kicked by the speedster. 3 goals, 3, the West Coast Eagles now, so the deficit is 9 points with under 4 minutes left in the first term.
Hard to bring it in. Back from a slight injury. Virtually goes straight down the middle and finds McKenna. Well, that had to be a mark. Belated whistle. By McKenna drifting back. Dermott coming at him. Plays on now to Clappe. Clappe kicks in towards centre half forward. Big leap down there by Sumic. Got hands to it. Couldn't hang on. McGuinness shrugs a tackle. Chips it out wide. Tregenza has it. Runners inside. Intent on drawing a man. Gives it to Visca. Visca thought about going again to Maynard. Eventually lengthens the hand pass. Rashudo down towards half forward. Wiedemann's in front. Slips through his fingertips. Now a chance for Kroon. Kroon across half forward. Meantime it's coming back to Wiedemann.
Yes, Wiedemann just collected slightly high there by John Worsfold as he was going for that mark.
Rice Miles.
Attempted spoil, I think you'd call it, Dennis.
Rice Miles all round. The roles reversed in round 17 last year, of course. You might remember Worsfold went on the forward line in a must-win game for the Eagles. Wiedemann played on him in defence. Deep in the pocket, Modra pulls it back, going back with the flight of the ball. The mark is held by Glenn Jakovic.
He took more than his fair share of marks last year. Harding lays it off. It's coming back. What's going on?
Maybe 50 metre, is it, being applied by the umpire?
Yes, you're right, Bernie. So with the 3 umpires, you need eyes in the back of your head.
Do we need 3 umpires?
Well, I think we do with the speed of the game now, Dennis. I think full forwards will appreciate it. There will be a lot less holding.
Well, it's not for the entire season, though, Peter. Of course,
it's just
for the Foster's Cup.
Yes, that's right. I know, Bernie, but I think it's working so far. Anyway, will be evaluated later. Langdon at the back of the pack. Quick kick. I think it actually came off his knee. Might be a goal. Was it touched? It was touched. Cool. 3 goals, 4. The West Coast Eagles now. 5 goals. Adelaide, so the difference is 8 points. Mick Malthouse checks the magnetic board. Now there's a little bit of an infringement off the ball.
Against Langdon, I think that was Pete on Rodney Maynard.
Yes, Maynard went down. So Maynard's going to take the free kick just on the 50-metre line. Another example that the 3 umpires might not have been seen otherwise. Kick down towards left half forward. And Jakovic punches the ball clear. I take it you're not in favour of it, Dennis?
No, I can't see the point. I've got to be honest.
Well, it does make it easy, though, Dennis. Not much the fullbacks can get away with these days with the 3 umpires.
You're speaking like a full forward.
Exactly.
Tossed in.
Got to think about this.
Declare your vested interest as Lee boots it inside the 50. Ball jarred loose down there, taken by Brown, 45 metres out. He's off target. Modra goes back. McIntosh is with him, and it's forced across the line. Well, having said that, I mean, if you like it so much, it should be in for the season then. You'd advocate it in for the entire season?
Well, I think the AFL are looking at the cost factor there also. There's a lot of things you have to weigh up there, Dennis.
As I said in the practice match, as Pike gets the ball in the pocket, I think one flow-on effect from this might be the umpires put on a lot of weight. Here's Anderson. Well, they don't cover much ground. Here's Wren. He's got the ball inside the centre square. Smothered initially. It ricochets back to him, though, Wren. Gets it across to support. Scott Lee goes for another goal. And just misses this time.
Quick reactions there by Sean Wren. A great smother there by Peter Wilson. But Sean Wren had the presence of mind to back up again and feed that hand pass off.
Turnbull and Shane Bond standing on the bench. Standing on the boundary line. Groom, good mark.
Played a very good game in the practice match against the Brisbane Bears.
Rashuto. I think we're going to be hearing a lot of that young fellow too. Oh, that's a terrific mark. Tony Hall.
I think he's saying he's pushed him out, and I don't agree with that. Although it was pretty good use of the body there by Tony Hall.
The crowd doesn't like it. Pike takes the hand pass at the left back pocket as the clock ticks down to quarter time. McKenna takes the mark in front of Anderson.
He did jump slightly early, but that's all part of the art and skills of the game.
Well, he did take the mark, didn't he?
He certainly did.
So the technical one, Pike may have been legged. Not so, says the umpire. Flipped out the front of the pack. Oh, Bickley caught one high. Umpire says no. Hand pass comes back to Tregenza. Kicks from a standing start. Brennan, did he nudge? Crowd thinks maybe. McGuinness nearly runs into Tony Hall. This time kicks with the right foot. Modra in front, can't take the mark. West Coast Eagles have the numbers. Hart's there. And the halfback flanker kicks it straight to Main Waring as the clock ticks down 30 seconds before the siren.
Main Waring goes towards half forward. The only man left standing, Maynard. As a result, Trundle taking the defensive mark. Back towards half forward. Grooms in front. Over the top Turnbull. That's out of bounds.
Let's take a look at the mark again of Tony Hall. Eyes on the ball, did he not?
Well, there may have been a little brush with that left hand on the shoulder, but very little, very little.
Umpire very close to the action. 5-2-3-4. Boundary throw in. This will rage all night.
Paleface speak with forked tongue.
It's taken by Banfield. Away it comes to Jakovic, who boots through centre. It spills and bounces down towards half forward. Spinks going nowhere. Visca was taken high.
Yeah, good decision. Very good decision.
Come back to Jamison, so the Crows still get it. As the siren sounds for quarter time here at Football Park. Quality affair so far as the Crows lead at 5-2-32 to the Eagles 3-4-22.
From Wagga, Barassi Sydney Swans take on Footscray. Then Carlton meet Hawthorn. A Foster's Cup double-header this Saturday on 7.
Quarter time and the Crows lead by 10 points. Checking the goal scorers. Singles all to Modra, McDermott, McGuinness, Lee and Wren. And for the West Coast Eagles, Banfield, Langdon and Spinks. 5-2 plays 3-4.
Unfortunately, bad news for the Crows camp. Young Sean Wellman, playing his first game, will be out of action for quite a long time with a broken wrist, and it's not a good one according to Dr. Brian Sandow. The intensity down here is fantastic. Some of the play, particularly on the boundary line here, with bodies taking bodies, is absolutely great. Coaches this day, both cool, both relaxed, not a lot of movement, not a lot of changes. They're very happy the way they're playing. They're just emphasising the fact they must keep at it in these conditions because the fittest team tonight will survive.
It would seem, Neil, that Michael Malthouse uses his bench a little more than Graham Corns. We saw that in the scratch match as well. And again tonight, Corns not making too many moves. Not that Malthouse is.
No, Malthouse made the two late ones with the ruck movement and young Bond coming to half forward. Graham made one with Lee replacing Liptak, and that was a very effective one because Lee goaled in the first 2 minutes of that move.
Yep, and could have kicked his second one only moments later. So
exactly.
Set to go for the second term here at Footy Park. And you've got to say the quality of that first term quite outstanding.
It was terrific, wasn't it?
It's not even March, eh?
Yes, certainly a lot of intensity there, Dennis.
And these players, as you'd expect, a lather of sweat. Not so much Turnbull, he came on just before quarter time, but those that have been out there through the full first term. Very hot night in Adelaide. And the football also starting to simmer. Turnbull goes up and gets it down into the path of Banfield, who knocks it towards half forward. Still he goes. Langdon now over the ball. Could have been taken high. McGuinness nicely done. Hurriedly onto the boot. Pike trapped it well. Gains about 5 metres, mainly sideways. Maynard's high kick through centre, down towards half forward. Awkward bounce for Brown. Coming to meet the ball, Worsfold. Ricochets back to Brown. Brown chips inside the 50. Here's trouble for the Eagles. Liptak takes the ball, measures the kick, and wouldn't you know, so many great goals in the first term from all angles for the Adelaide Crows. There seemed to be a sitter, and Matty Liptak, after a spell on the bench, has missed it far right.
Yeah, poor effort in the end from Liptak.
5-2. Tony Hall up high. McGuinness this time with the right foot, not his preferred boot. Over the head of Tony Modra and also Ashley McIntosh for a throw-in on the opposite side of the ground. The Adelaide Crows bench, as Neil Curley mentioned, already the injury to their recruit Sean Wellman with a broken wrist. It's real bad luck. He's going to be out for a while. Hall takes the rebound, gives away the hand pass quickly. That was Tregenza that got slung, got the boot. Anderson loses out. Matera inside his own defensive 50-metre line, just outside it with the kick. And a well-weighted 1-2 to Guy McKenna at left centre wing. One of the class players in the Eagles lineup. Kicks down towards half forward. Top mark taken by Ross. Ross from right half back. And Shane Bond stands the mark. Lewis. How did he get through there? Good shepherd applied by Pike in the end. Lewis's kick, an awkward looking one down towards Langdon at left half forward. The ball beats he and Maynard over the line. We'll see a throw in 45 metres out from goal.
Paul Harding on the bench.
Yes,
yep.
Paul Harding having a breather, along with Jared Schofield.
And Braden Lyle, I think, nearest the camera.
You've got your wish to. Don Pike's now playing on Tony McGuinness, Dennis.
Normally the case. These two sides meet. Wren crashed to the ground. Bond has it. Not a bad effort from there. Line was good. Sumich remains standing, turns around, and what's he done? It was smothered off the boot, well partially, but that was good enough. Touched by Hart. And behind. Great reflexes by Ben Hart. He was down but not out. Bounced back and dived onto the boot of Peter Sumich, who was setting himself up for a right footer, and that takes him a little more time. Maynard. Tregenza has it now on the outer side. Simon Tregenza, he turns 23 in a couple of weeks. Into the centre square, Whitterman's in front, he'll get the free.
Thanks.
Boots it down towards centre half forward for the Crows. Big leap by Hall in front. Broom. Play on is the call. Broom somehow goes over his head like a boundary throw-in. This is McGuinness running down towards left half forward. Goes for space and Hall. Well, you saw him contest the mark. Tough for a defender when the man gets up and runs back to space like that. Finds Broom, and suddenly these players can't buy a goal. Wren rather. Did I say Groom? Wren missing to the left-hand side.
Well, the kick could have been a little bit better. It set him a little bit of a task in the end there, but Sean Wren not happy with himself. A little bit of pressure coming there in the end, but he probably should have kicked that one, Dennis.
Wren would have been happy, I said.
This is Don Pike. Ball on the mark. Banfield. Yes, he's got it. Shows a good turn of speed too. Kicked a nice goal in the first quarter for West Coast. In fact, it was the first goal of the match. Kick up towards half forward. Taken away by Bond. And a good mark. Ben Hart in front of Sumich, who's often struggled against Adelaide. And I guess his luck isn't continuing, or is continuing in the same vein tonight. With that little effort touched off the boot before Maynard.
It'll be 50
metres against Lewis. Has to be.
Cannot work that out, Dennis, why a player would do that. Just undisciplined play there by Chris Lewis. Nothing to be gained at all from doing that. Clearly a mark had been taken there. Getting up was Maynard.
Yep. If Mick Malthouse will use the bench now.
Chris Lewis did play in the Aboriginal All-Stars winning side against Collingwood a couple of weeks ago in Darwin and played a very good game there.
Maynard from right centre wing. Kicks to half forward. Jakovic couldn't take it. Well, actually, he came down with it. Could have almost been construed as a mark. The umpire says play on. Hart takes the hand pass. Kicks back towards centre wing and Wren again. Very mobile, big fellow and doing well tonight. Apart from missing that goal, but he kicked a nice one as well. McDermott from a standing start. Kicked well inside 50. Marking contest down there. McIntosh recovers best. Modra in front. Brown, who came under a close Wellman. Into the pocket it goes. And the snapshot by Matthew Liptak. Not having much luck, and out of bounds and behind with his last two kicks for goal, but that one would have been a miracle. 5-4 to 3-5.
So 11 points the difference. Liptak, who started so well in that practice game a couple of weeks back, had 3 goals in the first term. Lively customer on the forward line. And Michael Brennan to bring it in. Big crowd, about 35,000 now. Some indecision from Brennan. Eventually goes out wide. Wilson, right half back. Plays on immediately towards the wing. Set up for Waring. Used his body well and was taken high, was it? Yes, the umpire awards the free kick. Still in control of the ball, so the free kick was timely as far as the Eagles were concerned. He boots it down towards the half-forward line. Maynard got a fist on it. Tregenza did well, and again. Soccer's off the ground and found a man, if you don't mind. McDermott gets it across to Liptak. Inside it comes. McDermott storms down the ground, boots towards half-forward. Groom has it, at close quarters to McGuinness. McGuinness a high kick down towards the kick-off line. McIntosh is going to get a free kick.
Pretty good duel down there between those two. Ashley McIntosh, a very talented youngster, picking up, of course, Tony Modra, the century goal kicker last year for the Adelaide Crows.
Nice kick coming out to Matera, forward of half back. Stands and pops it to space. A rather lazy kick. Worsfold has it. Good work up the ground there by Bond. Bought him a little time. Now it's with Bond. They have the numbers. The centering kick from Bond, taken by McKenna. He's still in the centre square.
Guy McKenna, too far out to score, although we have seen some long goals scored tonight. Admittedly not from that position. Kicks down to Sumich. Hart wearing him like a glove. Bickley, Lewis, Hart. A foot race, ball paddled in front by Ben Hart. Tregenza gives him good backup support, comes out with the footy. Bickley over the top, again to Hart. Adelaide, what abuse of handball last year, and again doing it well tonight as he kicks toward Hall. He's going to be a real asset up there. Played 6 seasons and 2 premierships with Hawthorn. That's the mark, Modra. McIntosh just couldn't get the weight behind the fist. Modra, good use of the body, had the front position.
He's a good player, this boy, Tony Modra.
But what a duel that is, Bernie.
It is a great duel. And there on the second attempt, just holding McIntosh out. Went for it with the one hand on that first instance. And showed amazing recovery to take it on the second grab there, Tony Modra.
Century goal kicker last year. Well, many say he can break the 150. Of course, you have to have a pretty good run with injury as well to do that. Distance shouldn't be a problem. And he's kicked it through for a behind. Well, it was a bad miss by his standards. He can't believe it, and neither can I. 15 minutes left in the term. It's 5-5 to 3-5, and so it's the Crows by 2 even goals at Football Park.
Can't buy a goal. The last few sorties forward. This is McKenna. So adept at helping bring the ball out. Is it left half back? Short. Don Pike has it. They'll play a little game with Liptak. He goes back to McKenna. He gained about 25 metres. Now he goes long down towards half forward. And the ball is out of bounds. Worsfold was the target, but not much chance there. He was surrounded by Crow defenders.
It looks as though Worsfold may have been moved to the forward line, and McKenna now picking up Wiedemann.
Tossed in, one forward by Wren, trying to go through the pack. Langdon, on top of him Maynard, and a whistle. Bounce at left half forward for the West Coast Eagles, who would like the next goal. They started well, but then the Crows dominated the second half of the first term and now lead by 12 points. The margin was 10 points at quarter time. Liptak gained about 15 metres. Beckley did nicely. McDermott caught about Anderson. He's taken a while. He's run down from behind. Matera got him. The ball jarred free though. Anderson. Beckley combines there with Rashudo, who boots inside the 50. Up goes McIntosh. Brown arrives. McIntosh keeps it in front. Over the top of him is Brown. Play on is the call. McGuinness, a little toe poke. Got it to Brown. Brown tackled by Turnbull. Back it comes towards McGuinness. Put his body in. Now Turnbull again. A lot of agility for a big man, as is the case with his opposite number 50. That's Groom. But eventually, after all that effort, and a lot of perspiration, the ball is out of bounds and will be thrown in right on the 50.
Still in the same spot, Dennis.
2 50s on the 50.
Good stuff. Great match. Crows. McDermott takes the hand pass from Liptak. Off target again. That'll be a goal. Tony Hall. Couldn't miss from there. Tony Hall kicks the Crows 6th and they lead by 18 points. First goal for his new club.
Yes, he should be an asset in that forward pocket, Tony Hall, with his marking ability and goal kicking ability, because of course they relied very much last season on Tony Modra to kick their goals, as he did very well, kicking over a century of goals, and they didn't have many other players and many other options on the forward line.
I think it depends a lot, Bernie, how well he can combine with Modra to kick the goals out there, doesn't it?
Yes, that's very true, Peter.
Well, Hodges didn't work, did it?
No. Crows doing it well now. Lewis punches it back over the head of Anderson, who collides with Pike. Matera gives it out. Banfield.
Pike's looking sick there too, Pete. He got one very high.
Yes. Still down. Sumic tries to mark it one-handed. Ben Hart right there with him. Sumic with the left foot off the ground. Jamison ducks back quickly. He'll go across the goal. He's got Tregenza if the ball bounces nicely for him. It does. Langdon in pursuit, so too is Mainwaring. And he'll give it back. Maynard goes for the short pass and Wren takes the mark at centre-half back.
Plays on by hand. They like to fit it directly back. Visca has it. Goes across the ground. Rashudo goes it left half back. 6-5 to 3-5. Just over 11 and a half minutes till half-time. Knocked forward on this occasion to Matera, who from the wing kicks inside the attacking 50 for the Eagles. Sumic in front. Hart in close attendance again, and the ball is out of bounds. 72 goals last season for Peter Sumic. In 4 league games against the Crows, he's kicked only 12 goals. His best effort 4 back in round 4 of 91. Pete made the point he hasn't kicked a bag ever against these Crows, and again tonight he's finding it hard to get a kick down there, let alone a goal. Beckley to Brown, confronted by Worsfold, and again we've got a whistle. I think this is one of the problems. I guess the players have got to get used to the 3 umpires.
Being reported, Dennis.
Yeah, we've got a report.
I think the report, yes, on Langdon. I think it may have been for throwing the leg out there on who was it? Mark Bickley, the player there taking the free kick.
He boots it to the outer side. McDermott, Tregenza, neatly done. Rashudo. Gee, they look good when they run. McGuinness chips the ball into the path of Modra. He disposes of McIntosh, tracks it towards the boundary line, but it spills out of bounds, and we've got a throw just inside the attacking 50 for the Crows.
That's where McIntosh is so very hard to get away from there, right on the hammer there of Tony Modra.
I was going to say the problem with these umpires is that sometimes you get these rather bewildering decisions that the players play on probably 25-30 metres from, but on that occasion, if it was a report, then that's to the advantage of the 3 umpires. Up goes Jakovic. Away comes McIntosh. That's not to say the tribunal won't find differently, of course, as the ball goes out wide. Oh, courage shown by Mainwaring. He's going to get a free kick.
Well, maybe a bit high. Maybe Sean Wren didn't have his eyes on the ball when he jumped into it, Dennis.
Yes, a bit high.
Just getting there a little bit late.
Kick towards the centre wing position, and Lewis, low trajectory kick. And Carl Langdon, a player that they love to hate, unless you're a West Coast supporter. But it's a great character in football, and football needs characters. So it is great to see him back. Langdon. Oh, good mark, Bickley in front. Umpire's not paying it, is he?
I think he may have been lucky to get that mark too, Peter. I don't think he controlled it all that long.
Langdon's hurt himself too.
Jamieson, he's not having a good night. Jamieson again takes the hand pass out of defence, but he kicked it straight to Wilson. One of the veterans in the Eagles lineup. And young Bond takes the mark. Not much of him.
And he hasn't made the angle all that good for Bond, or the distance. Bond kicking from about the 50-metre, or maybe just outside the 50-metre line.
Looks like Port Adelaide, the West Coast, because he comes from Port Adelaide. So too does Braden Lyle, and if Hines were playing, that'd make 3.
And Carl Langdon may be coming off the ground. The trainer's out having a look at him.
It's not a bad sort of a kick. I think he's got it. He has.
There's Carl Langdon coming off.
Shane Bond kicks his first goal, and the badly needed one for the Eagles, who started well. 2 goals the difference at Footy Park.
And that booing there for Carl Langdon coming off to be replaced by Jared Schofield. And Carl Langdon limping definitely. There's some problem. I don't know whether it's a knee or what it is, but he's going down the race to be checked out by the medical staff. There's been plenty of injury problems in the past. There's that mark there, the pass coming from Peter Wilson.
Carl Langdon off the ground, but not a disciplinary thing because he was noticeably limping, so Curl should have some information on that for us shortly. McGuinness with that trusty left foot, but he's kicked it straight to Guy McKenna at half-back. He'll come across the ground. Wilson calling for it, ignores him, goes further afield, and the mark taken by Evans, who's just come onto the ground. Away goes Wilson this time. Brown giving chase, won't catch him. Wilson kicks up towards the centre wing position. Strong mark, taken down there by Spinks.
Right on the wing, he plays on, kicks it down towards half forward. Ball is fisted away by Viska. Bond was in front. Viska right there, step for step, boundary throw in. Left half forward for the West Coast Eagles, who have lifted in the last few minutes. From the throw in, a whistle and an Eagles free. Schofield gets it across to Lewis, who goes in short. Little half volley taken by Pike, 55 metres out. Long kick, good kick. Hart goes back and marks it right on the line. Well umpire in perfect position, straddling the line. Hart boots it out wide. Mainwaring got a fist on it. In front, Tregenza. Tregenza gets it free. Short pass is on. Maynard has the ball, the defensive side of left centre wing. Kicks through centre towards half forward. Groom comes on the lead. Jakovic got the fist away, taken by Turnbull. Rashuda grabs him, but not before he got the hand pass. An ill-directed one, only as far as Wren. Taken by Brown, feeds it across to Maynard. Maynard boots towards half forward. Jakovic again intent on destruction. Got a fist there. Down goes Wiedemann. McKenna slides in, slaps it out wide. Taken by Lewis, does nicely. Through the traffic and goes down towards half forward. And the mark is held by Mainwaring. He's at right half forward. Side trails 29 to 41. Centering kick, and Worsfold finds some space about 45 metres from goal.
Slipping away from his man there, Rodney Jamieson, his opponent at the present time.
7.5 minutes till half time. This would be a handy goal if he can get it. It's close. I think it's good. It is.
So Johnny Worsfold kicks his first goal, and the Eagles come a little bit closer. 6-5 to 5-5. Now the difference is 6 points, and under 8 minutes left before half time.
He did start the match at half-back, picking up Wayne Wiedemann. But the switch was made by Mickey Malthouse. Worsfold to the forward line, Guy McKenna to half-back, picking up Wiedemann. And Jamieson just allowing too much space there, far too much space, and he really gave him about 30 metres, allowing him to get away.
5 kicks to John Worsfold and 4 hand passes, and now 1 goal. Bounce in the centre, Rashuto. A real up-and-comer for the Adelaide Crows. Going to hear a lot more about him. Pike and McGuinness having a slight disagreement. And bounce again. 2 high numbers there. Knocked away by Turnbull. No clean possession taken though. McDermott tries to barge his way through. Not successful. Mainwaring stands his ground. Tackled when he didn't have the ball. Against McGuinness, he'll take the free kick. Played for that one. Did well. Comes up with the footy.
There's no doubt the flow of the game has changed in the last 10 minutes or so. The West Coast Eagles playing particularly well in that period of time.
Good mark. Taken at half forward from the West Coast by Ryan Turnbull. I think was injured in that practice match, Dennis, wasn't he? He left the field late in the game.
Turned an ankle, that's right. It's been a very good recovery.
He has. See if he kicks straight, right on 50. He's got the distance and wait on the accuracy. It looks good, it's there. So a good kick by Turnbull. So the goal's being shared. They've kicked 6 and 6 different goal kickers to West Coast, and interestingly, Peter Sumic not among them.
Yes, here's the replay of that kick from Mainwaring, finding Turnbull. This is a very good mark, going back with the flight of the ball. He had a player coming against him there, and it was Mark Fisker. And Ryan Turnbull very sensibly wearing the shin guards there. A great kick from about 50 metres out. And the two ruckmen, the very mobile ruckman, causing damage.
All square approaching half-time here at Footy Park. Game 3 of the Foster's Cup competition. And Wren, a look of grim determination, but again, the Eagles get it down. Poor medium that time of Turnbull, who thumped it about 15 metres, coming through Rosciuto over the head of Wren. Opportunity for Tregenza. Nice little sidestep, 70 metres from goal. Puts it up for Modra. Was he pushed in the back? I thought he was.
Yes.
We'll get the free kick.
And the third umpire awarding that one, Dennis, you'll be pleased to see. It was about 20 metres from that incident.
Hang on, I picked that one up too.
Yeah, well,
I'm 150 metres away.
He couldn't get there, McIntosh. Just a little nudge. So it was very well set up there by the Adelaide Crows, getting the ball out of the middle quickly, directly down the centre.
McIntosh has been doing a good job. Modra just the 1 goal so far. Hold 11 votes in last year's Brownlow. That was second best amongst the full forwards, 5 behind Jason Dunstall. Leans back on the kick, and I think he's missed. It's enough for the lead, but it's only a point.
Well, Modra's missed 2 from that distance in their second term. 1 from maybe slightly further out, but around about that 30-35 metre mark. And they're shots that he really should have kicked.
McKenna to the pocket, and Brennan. Harding's back on the ground. Turnbull is off. Kicking that recent goal. Ball on the outer side. Banfield goes up and takes a good mark close to the boundary line. Wants to play on and does. Centres the ball. McKenna has run on and taken the kick in. Has the ball just short of the wing and boots it up towards half forward and Spinks. So very good ball movement here by the West Coast Eagles.
Spinks, one of the goal kickers for West Coast. Too far out to score here. It was a good kick before. That one's not so good. In fact, rather poor effort. Matera's claiming the mark. Anderson says, no, it's no mark. I'm playing on. Evans gives the hand pass away to his skipper. Won't lose any votes for that. From a standing start, Pike kicks up towards the 10-metre square. Sumic has to punch. There's a holding decision that's going Adelaide's way. Will be taken by Ben Hart.
And Andrew Jarman on for the first time for the Adelaide Crows. He's replaced Wayne Wiedemann. And I think that may have been a disciplinary move because he allowed McKenna about 50 metres latitude there to run up the ground and deliver it into the Eagles forward line.
Jamison kicks to McGuinness. McGuinness from right half back. Plenty of distance with the kick. Jarman up one-handed. Couldn't take the mark. Ball spills free out in front of the pack. Anderson tries to knock it on. It's going to be a free kick for a high tackle. And it will be taken by Anderson at right centre wing. Anderson goes in short. McDermott also goes in short. The leader's on. 2 Crows players are there. And Tony Hall takes one and gets a knee in the back for his trouble.
And that was what we've come to expect from Tony Hall. Absolute courage in the face of the oncoming player. Modra did his best there to keep McIntosh out of the contest. Have a look at that again, but eyes only for the ball there, Tony Hall.
It wasn't a knee, it was an elbow.
As we've come to expect in his career with Hawthorn. He's been a fantastic player, especially overhead.
So knocked himself out in that practice match, taking a good mark.
I was just going to say, Pete, talking about quick recoveries, he's made one. He was knocked out after crashing from a great height. He took a fantastic mark.
It was a great mark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
6'7" to 6'5".
Hit his head. That was the first thing to land.
Didn't hurt Bernie. He got up straight away.
Thank you, Peter. And Wayne Wiedemann off the ground.
That, isn't it?
It is. Very, look at those eyes. They look very determined, don't they?
Brennan takes the mark. He'll have to be quick to get clear of Modra, and he is as he kicks to midfield.
Over the head of Bickley. Up the ground, Spinks. He's been lively in the last 10 minutes and a key factor in this revival. Harding, high kick. Sumic in front, judged at best. Hart was up very early, and Sumic virtually stayed on the ground to mark that one. Directly in front, 35 metres out. And a goal here could put the Eagles in front.
Yes, the big fly there by Ben Hart. He didn't time it all that well. And Sumich, well, he didn't time it at all well, because Sumich just really hardly got off the ground there to take that mark.
So this for the lead. If he kicks it, the Eagles will be in front by 4 points. Just over 3 minutes till half-time. Goes at his first goal, and I think he's missed to the left-hand side. He has.
Well, it's quite hard to understand how these full forwards can be missing from about the 30-metre mark. That kick was just a shocker off the boot there from Peter Sumich. He kicked that without any confidence whatsoever.
Perhaps the shadow of the third umpire puts him off.
Oh, Jamison dropped a sitter out there.
Picked up by Pike. I've ever seen Don Pike play a bad game. Kicks towards full forward. Hart and Sumich again. Could have almost been taken high. Bond. The Crows are going to come away with this again. Their running game is superb. One of their features last year was the way they ran the ball out of defence. Not perhaps so this time. Matera grabs it from Anderson. Lines them up, 35 metres out. Bends it beautifully. Goal umpire doesn't move. Full points, Peter Matera. Terrific goal. 7-6 to 6-7.
He really is the key to this West Coast Eagles side, I think, Peter Matera, when he's in form. And showing a clean pair of heels as he did there to Anderson. Who'll forget that grand final against Geelong where he kicked so many goals from just outside the 50-metre line. Showed amazing recovery and balance there, getting around onto his right boot and splitting the middle there with that drop punt.
Now, one of the plays of the night from Matera. He means so much to the West Coast side, midfield, up front, wherever. Back to the centre, 2.5 minutes before half-time. Harding back on the ground, goes up. Marks his own tap down. Not a long kick, just off the edge of the square. No mark taken. Schofield dives on it. Picked up by Ross. Quick hand pass. Tackled by Worsfold, but it's going to be a Crows ball. Liptak's kick up towards half forward. Again, a fickle bounce as it goes towards the 50-metre line. And McKenna goes off the ground, sees the ball safely over the boundary. And it will be a throw-in as Scott Lee awaits his turn to come back on. And as Graham Corn swings yet another change.
Jamison off for the Adelaide Crows.
Throw in right on 50. Soccer off the ground again by Pike. And that's right in the middle of the interchange gates. Once more for a throw in on centre wing this time.
We've just lost their midfield dominance at the moment, the Adelaide side. With Tony McGuinness now being picked up by Hart. Jarman on the ground trying to get some lift around midfield. Nothing much happening though for the Crows.
Harding wide of the pack, but Anderson runs back onto it. With Dash, this is Ross. Indecision now. Eventually goes back to Visca. Visca stands and kicks towards half forward. No one really attacks the ball. Coming through Rashudo. It struck him in the face and pushed towards the boundary line by Tony Evans, and we've got a throw in. So 1.5 minutes to half time. The West Coast Eagles find themselves in front, 7-6 to 6-7.
That man's played a very good quarter there, Ryan Turnbull. Carl Langdon, of course, off injured. But Turnbull had a big impact in the second term playing in the ruck.
Brown to Anderson. Can the Crows get back the lead? Here's Hall, measures the kick, goes goalward and gets it.
His second.
And Adelaide back in front with that goal off the boot from Tony Hall, his second goal for the term. The replay of this, Greg Anderson, the long hand pass, Tony Hall running onto that. It set up beautifully for him, measured it off. And a great running kick for goal there by Tony Hall. 2 for the term, as I said. And could be a very valuable player this season for the Adelaide Crows.
And the interesting stat now, 58 handballs to Adelaide and 34 to West Coast. And the handball there really helping in the assist for the goal. Brown with speed. Up towards half forward. Oh, Modra this time. And the two-pronged Crows attack working well late in the second quarter. Well, Tony Modra, as you said, Bernie, has missed a couple of goals from round about this range.
Well, slightly further out this time, Peter, but that was a great mark as we see that in replay. Modra under enormous pressure there from Ashley McIntosh. But we may see him kick through the ball a little bit better from about the 40-45 metre mark. May have just tried to steer the last couple through. Let's see how he goes from just that little extra distance out.
Got the distance. Crowd likes it, so does the goal umpire. It's there. Tony Modra gets his second. Quick goals to Modra and Hall, and the Eagles once again trail. Terrific mark
Yes, it was a great mark out in front. McIntosh really didn't have a great punch at that one. He had the arm extended, but it was extended well before the ball got there. But as I said, just around that 30-metre mark, sometimes players just try to steer the ball through, whereas from about 40, 45, they kick right through the ball.
So a game so far, particularly a quarter of shifting momentum, just 30 seconds to half-time. Banfield has the ball in front, left it behind, picked up by McKenna. The Eagles got time for a late goal. He boots it down towards the half-forward flank. Awkward bounce there for Spinks. Well, that was interesting. Bond jumped over the ball. He was held, according to the umpire. He'll take the free about 55 metres out from goal. The clock is down to 12 seconds. He centres the ball. Maynard gets back into the space, takes the timely mark, goes across the ground. Tregenza has it. And I don't think either side now can score before the half. Towards the boundary line goes Mainwaring. Trickles across right on the siren. So half-time at Football Park. And the quality of the football in the second quarter matching the quality in the first. High standard affair. And the Crows lead 8-7 to the West Coast Eagles 7-6. Tough night for the players as they come off the ground. It has been very hot and steamy. But it's a credit to the players that they have performed at this level. The West Coast Eagles playing better tonight than they did 11 days ago in that practice game. As I mentioned, a lot of their stars back tonight, and there's one of them, Peter Matera. I suppose the only man who grimaced when he kicked that goal was the club accountant, because he's still negotiating his contract. Half-time, and Adelaide lead.
Okay, let's check goal scorer
Half-time at Footy Park, and the Crows lead it by 7 points after they led by 10 at quarter time. Checking the goal scorers, Modra has 2, Hall has 2, and singles to McDermott, McGuinness, Lee and Wren. And for the West Coast Eagles, all singles, Banfield, Langdon, Bond, Worsfold, Spinks, Matera and Turnbull. Well, on Saturday, it's Footscray and Sydney. They'll meet in Game 5 of the Foster's Cup competition. That game is scheduled for Wagga, and our man has been up surveying the scene. Craig Willis takes a look at Wagga and what we can expect come Saturday.
Because of its geographical position, midway between Sydney and Melbourne, the city of Wagga is an interesting example of how the two great football codes in our country live side by side. Travel north of Wagga and all the talk is of rugby league. Travel south and it's all Australian rules. The city has produced its fair share of sporting greats, people like Arthur Summons, who represented Australia in both rugby union and rugby league. He now runs the Wagga Leagues Club and agrees that both codes get on very well together.
Well, you've got to, of course, because we're both wanting to gain prominence out of the town, and I suppose there's a friendly rivalry come from it, but most of the players get on very well together, and most of us go and look at each other's sport, and it's quite a healthy relationship, really.
And former Essendon champion Terry Danaher, who's back in Wagga as captain coach of the Wagga Tigers. He believes it's important to put something back into the game and to try and fly the flag for Australian rules.
Sure, you know, to give some to help and have some input into helping out the young Australian rules footballers, budding young players that are coming up. You know, if I can help in any way, well, that's what I'm up here for, to try and do that.
The city has already hosted a number of top-level rugby league matches. Next Saturday, Sydney and Footscray will clash at the Robertson Oval in Wagga in the Foster's Cup. And Arthur Summons is looking forward to the match.
Full marks to the rules people, who have got to also make sure that they expose their game to the younger people in the area, or they're going to lose the youngsters.
So, meeting of the cultures. Saturday's the place, the Bulldogs and the Swans at Wagga. Half-time here at Football Park, and the Crows lead by 7 points. Tony Hall and Tony Modra. That twin-pronged attack for the Adelaide Crows working with limited success so far. 2 goals apiece to half-time, and certainly instrumental in giving the Crows their half-time lead. Well, it's time now for Just a Minute. And the man under the microscope, the West Coast Eagles' Dean Kemp.
Well, I'd have to say Michael Brennan. He was playing when I was a young bloke, and he's still playing now, and he's still going pretty strongly. I'd have to go along with a few of the guys, I think. Fatty Lamb, you know, we can't get rid of him. He just keeps hanging in there year after year. I'd definitely have to say the grand final in 1992. That, and along with the Collingwood draw in 1990, that was a big thrill. Oh, that's an easy one, mate. Home improvements. Tim the Tool Man. Well, I'm a big fan of Neighbours, mate, and home and away. No, in a bus queue, that's a bit of a tricky one. What's that lady's name over in America? That Bobbitt, Mrs. Bobbitt. I think I'd be too keen to stand next to her. I think my greatest strength has to be tomato sauce. I can eat it with everything and on everything, and I'll just power through it.
Just a minute, Dean Kemp answering those questions, putting him on the griller there. 27 degrees currently. Speaking of the heat, it's very warm at Football Park, and the football, as we said earlier, has been hot all night as well. Back with more right after the break.
From Wagga, Barassi Sydney Swans take on Footscray. Then Carlton meet Hawthorn. A Foster's Cup double-header this Saturday on 7.
And welcome back to Football Park and Game 3 in the Foster's Cup competition. Now already the first couple of games in this competition have been quite special. On Saturday, Collingwood defeated North Melbourne by a point, thanks to Bradley Plain's goal in the dying seconds, and I mean dying seconds. He gets it from Francis, cuts inside, 2 seconds on the clock, and he puts it through. Then, of course, on Monday night, we went to extra time. As the Magpies celebrate, Richmond would be doing it a couple of nights later. As a result of winning in extra time, they defeated the Saints by 20 points. Matthew Richardson, a real up-and-comer, finished with a swag of goals, and 2 of them came in those extra 5-minute periods. Here's the first of them. So Richardson and Plain, the heroes, in games 1 and 2 of the Foster's Cup. Now taking a look at what it all means in terms of the format of the competition. As you can see, North Melbourne and St Kilda are out. The winner of this game, the Crows and the West Coast Eagles, to meet either Geelong or Fitzroy, and over $360,000 is up for grabs. Well, we've got to find out which of our teams will win tonight, the Crows or the Eagles. Neil Curley is down on the boundary. Neil?
Thank you, Dennis. Well, from the West Coast Rooms, Coach Malthouse is very, very displeased with the discipline shown by quite a number of his players. He feels to win the game, they must improve in that area. He's very happy with their fitness. He feels that that could be the key to the game. He obviously believes that the Eagles boys are fitter than the Crows, and he feels they can run the game out better. Very happy with their commitment, and he's very happy with the run displayed by his players. But he's had them locked away in the small room for quite a while. The Crows camp, a lot more noise in there, a lot more enthusiasm. Coach Corns was pretty cool, pretty calm. He realised that the Eagles got to run on that second quarter, and they've got to show more commitment in their checking. Over to you, Dennis.
Okay, thanks, Neil. As you can see, the Crows are back out. They lead it by 7 points. We'll be back with more action right after the break.
The name of the game is Australia.
Back at Football Park, awaiting the start of the third term here in this Foster's Cup game. Not long to wait. In the centre square, Pittman, Jarman, McDermott and McGuinness for the Crows. And for the Eagles, Pike, Harding, Evans and Banfield. Rucks go at it. Pittman gets it down, something they didn't do too often in the first half. Jarman's hand pass intended for Tregenza. Over the ball is Wilson. He's scrambly, as you can see. And a whistle and some pushing and shoving.
Mashudo.
Wilson.
Wilson just not too happy with the tackle there from Mashudo. There was nothing in it. He was quite entitled to do the tackling there, Mark Mashudo.
The umpire bounced the ball quickly and Harding boots it towards the outside wing. Bonds in front. Bickley after him. Well done by Bickley. Did he carry him forward? Not according to the umpire. Evans plays on around the outer side. Chips it down towards half forward. Worsfold. Tumbling attempt at the mark. Goes back after it with grit. Fighting there with Lee. Down goes Maynard. Down with his shorts. And we've got a whistle.
I think the umpire did pay that for pushing it back, Dennis, and then awarded the advantage.
I see. So Lewis has the ball. And as we saw, not much advantage.
They're holding the ball there.
Pike. No closer to goal on Pike. Again squares the ball. Harding finding space inside the centre square. So they've come right across the ground. Mainwaring jogging at this one initially. Now he turns on the afterburners. 70 metres from goal. Kicks towards the pocket. Not a good kick. And only about 35. It was the kick of a tired man. Hart, did he keep it in?
There's been a free kick awarded by your favourite person there, Dennis, that third umpire in the forward line.
Actually, it makes the game disjointed, Bernie, doesn't it?
It does. I agree with that. I agree with that entirely. The umpire right on the spot there, but the free kick being awarded against Scott Lee.
I think they see too much.
You're possibly right too, for an indiscretion on John Worsfold. And those players totally and completely uninvolved in that passage of play.
Changing the nature of the game. Here's Worsfold from about 25. Brushed the post, has he? No, he snuck it through.
His second goal.
Well there, Dennis, it's not as if Worsfold was leading for the ball or trying to lead for the ball, because the Adelaide player in Ben Hart had control of it at half back. Well, let's have a look at this again. The infringement in the background there against Scott Lee was a player there infringing on John Worsfold. But those two players totally and completely out of that action.
In fact, Hart might have been out of bounds.
So 1 point the difference. McGuinness kicks the Crows back into attack. Clean bowls Modra and McIntosh. Brennan ducks back and kicks the ball to the half-back line. 3 Eagles there. It bounces nicely for Wilson, who's well shepherded. Wilson hugs the boundary line with the kick. Punchuai won't see it out of bounds, but into the arms of Anderson. This quick kick back in the direction of Hart. Liptak beats him to it. The ball still in play. Back to McGuinness, who's also well shepherded. His non-preferred foot. Brennan up high. Couldn't come down with the mark. Crows fans looking for a free kick. He goes for a hand pass. It wasn't a good one to Pike, but it does come back to Wilson. And the West Coast Eagles should clear. Wilson gets plenty of distance with that kick. Up towards Lewis and a strong mark on the left centre wing. Haven't seen too much of him tonight, Chris Lewis. Well-weighted kick though to Evans. Back to Pike at midfield. Harding spent some time on the bench as Mick Malthouse interchanges the ruckman. Marking contest up near the full forward spot. Sumich has been pretty quiet. Snapshot by Banfield. Bounces and bounces out of bounds.
Yes, they could do with the lift also from Peter Sumich playing at full forward. He's been very quiet. As Dennis pointed out, his record not all that good against the Adelaide Crows.
He's been in that vein tonight too, hasn't he? Missed a sitter from straight in front, which was touched.
He's only had about 2 or 3 touches tonight, Peter. He's been very quiet.
McGuinness and Lewis. McGuinness, was he held? It certainly looked that way.
Spotted by the umpire, who will get the free kick, Tony McGuinness, against Chris Lewis for that holding infringement.
Played for it and got it. Nonetheless, a correct one.
Good stats again for Tony McGuinness. He averaged about 20 kicks throughout 1993 per game.
Kicked a beautiful goal earlier too. His left foot in front. Pittman couldn't take the mark. Rebounds to Mainwaring. Measures the kick in towards the goal square. Lewis a snapshot, out of bounds or behind. Have to wait on the goal umpire. It's out of bounds on the full. And again, Tony McGuinness will take the kick right next to the behind post.
Now, more of a centering kick there from Chris Mainwaring would have been the order of the day, instead of going for that pocket as he did. Just put it out in front of goals and give the forward some sort of a chance.
In fact, it's Ben Hart who boots it out. Up in front was Spinks. Working out at the base of that pack was Evans, but going nowhere. Spinks tries to crash his way through. Tregenza sockers it forward. Deftly done there by Jarman. On the up, Maynard. Maynard through the middle. Awkward half volley. Should have missed it. As a result, McInnes got some time. Across half-back. He comes away. Finds Pike. Pike alongside the centre circle. The Crows leading by a point. He looks for Sumich and finds him. Well, it needed to be perfect, and it was. Just clearing the hands of the defender in front. Sumich on the lead, taking the mark above his head.
Well, the mistake there coming from the Adelaide side, from the boot of Maynard, missing Rashudo with that pass. And that allowed McKenna to tidy up across half-back for the West Coast Eagles. A much more committed lead there from Freda Sumich.
This for the lead. 5 points to goal. Tied the scores if he misses. And what's he done? He's tied the scores.
And still without a goal tonight, Freda Sumich. He did fall away a little bit last year, I felt, Dennis. Kicking just over the 70 goals for the season. But on a lot of games, he really was ineffective playing at full forward for the West Coast Eagles.
I don't think he was fully fit.
Injury problems?
Shouldn't be an excuse this season, though.
Just lack of fitness.
Well, a combination of the two. One invariably leads to the other, doesn't it? Training just the one night and half sessions.
You can substitute other forms of fitness, though, in training there, Dennis, if you cannot get on the track and do all the running.
Spinks gets the front position from Pittman. Anderson. McGuinness. G's having a good night. Slung off his kick, but Jarman, who started on the bench, reads it well back to Pittman. Kick up towards half forward. Oh, strong Mark Modra in front of McIntosh, who was right there with him. He was wearing him like a glove, and he shrugged him off just as the ball hit him on the chest.
Well, it was clever body work there by Tony Modra. He just held that lead back a little bit on that occasion, keeping McIntosh out of the contest and then lunging at the last moment.
Tony Modra's kicked 2 goals, likewise Tony Hall for Adelaide. Worsfold has 2 for West Coast. He's got 3 now. So they go goal for goal, 61 to 55 in favour of the Crows over the West Coast Eagles. Great mark, that.
Yes, all class there, Tony Modra. A kick coming from Pittman, who spent the first half on the interchange bench. And good body, just keeping McIntosh out of the contest there. We'll see the class of Tony Modra kicking that goal from around about the 45-metre mark.
So a tale of 2 full forwards. Sumich misses at one end. Modra gets his third at the other. And that accounts for more than the difference, as you can see. Pittman, giant strides in and thumps it forward, down towards centre half forward. McKenna hurriedly onto the boot, only as far as Anderson. Anderson, 103 games with Essendon, including 10 finals. Across to McDermott, kicks inside the 50. McIntosh working on Modra, and the mark to stand. McIntosh swings it out wide, stretching. Here's Harding, he marks it at left half back. Paul Harding, close to the boundary line, goes for distance, through the wing, down towards half forward. Ross was in front, and another whistle. And the free kick will be taken by Ross. He's up towards the wing. Floats this one down towards centre half forward. Groom comes up, fisted away by Jakovic. Well, they committed to that pack, everybody. Evans, the hurried kick, gained about 20 metres. In front, Maynard was pushed in the back. Well, we've had 33 free kicks so far tonight in this shortened game. Early in the third term, as Maynard boots towards centre half forward. Jakovic from behind, cleared he and Groom, knocked on by Visca. A chance now for the Crows, off the ground by Pike, and another whistle. We'll come back to Pike. He was taken high, I think, rather untidily by Visca, who was pursuing his own kick through.
And Dennis, that may not have been awarded had we only had 2 umpires.
We're beating the drum, Bernie, aren't we? As Pike comes out wide. Up goes Wilson. Now he's got problems. He missed the mark. He's surrounded. Tries to knock it on. Here's Hall. Cleverly done. Gets it back to Brown. Confronted by Brennan. It altered the kick. Well done by Brennan. His presence enough to see that ball spill out of bounds down towards left full forward. So just under 13 and a half minutes till three-quarter time. And we've got Adelaide leading by 6 points.
Boundary throw in. And over the top. Brennan on the shoulder, says the umpire. And it's going to Djakovic, the free kick.
There's people infringing there on Djakovic.
Djakovic from right back pocket. Main wearing the flyer. Likewise doesn't come down with the football. Banfield might have got taken high. Ball's out of bounds as Jarman applies a tackle on Evans. So to McDermott there. And it's going to be a throw-in. Almost on centre wing. 13 minutes left in the term. 4 by 20-minute quarters plus time on in the Foster's Cup in this the third match of the season. Double header tonight. And here at Football Park, pretty hot conditions. Evans fumbles, then applies a tackle. Jarman comes in and goes out just as quickly. It's going to be a bounce just off the edge of the centre square. Free kicks tonight, 18 to Adelaide and 17 to West Coast. Not too much in that. Knocked down by Groom, kicked away by Pike off the ground. Tregenza trying to pick it up like a piece of soap there. Kick only travels about 5 metres. Brown, hurried hand pass, not really to the advantage of his side. Evans went down, looked pretty high. Banfield, quick kick out of the pack. It's willing out there. Schofield, the rookie. McDermott looks for the free kick. Anderson takes the hand pass with speed up towards full forward. No mark taken. Good spoil by McIntosh. Free kick up high. Yes, on the shoulder, he says. Going to the Adelaide Crows to Modra. Well, Bernie.
Well, yes. Well, that's that umpire again. We were talking about Dennis and Peter.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Here we see the free kick again. This is a replay of it.
You couldn't argue with it, but it's going to be good for full forwards. If the 150-goal barrier is going to be broken, under three umpires it could be.
There didn't appear to be a lot in that.
Wasn't the talk a couple of seasons ago, if the man behind was making the ball his objective?
Any man making the ball his objective.
Yeah, had the opportunity, I think, in those situations to perhaps infringe like that.
Modra kicks at goal, drifts off slightly to the near side, and he puts it through for only a minor score. So his tally still remains at 3 goals. As the Crows go ahead by that margin.
Sure is a talking point anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is.
62
Not much they can get away with, that's for sure, Dennis.
62 to 55 as Don Pike takes the mark just up from the back pocket.
And kicks it out wide, intended for Mainwaring, running out of space. Tregenza is with him, and the ball pushed across the line. Chris Mainwaring, who didn't play a lot of footy last year, just the 10 games, and they missed him early. When he came back, he wasn't perhaps as match hardened as they would have liked. Played some pretty good games by the same token. Forward of the pack, Mainwaring again. Running out of space once more. Gets it across to Evans, who controls it pretty well, but then left it behind. McDermott threw it to Jarman. It comes to Brown. Back it comes to Jarman. Jarman held, I thought, without the ball. Pushed across the line by Banfield, and it will be thrown in. So a lot of work for little return. And you've got to bear in mind, it is like playing football, I guess, in Darwin tonight. It really is hot and humid. And it does make the ball slippery with the players handling the ball. So while it's very fine in terms of the surface and the conditions, that ball still could be slippery. Banfield is penalised, and the kick will be taken by Tregenza, forward of the wing, inside the 50. Here comes Modra. Up he goes. Missed it completely. It runs free behind. Now Djakovic, joint best and fairest winner with the Eagles last season, tidies up and goes across to a former best and fairest winner, Guy McKenna. Around the outer side, coming up to meet the ball was Worsfold. In fact, he bought a path there, cleared one for Matera. Matera kicks inside the 50. It bounces out of bounds in front of Sumich. So a very quick transference of play by the Eagles around the outer side. Good team harmony there.
So boundary thrown on the outer side. Well inside 50, about 35 metres from goal. Jarman takes the hand pass. He started on the bench tonight for Adelaide. Not his greatest of kicks. He's let them in. Worsfold gives it to Pike. He didn't like the look of the kick off the boot. And you'll see why, because it drifted wide, out of bounds or behind. It's one behind. I'd have been lucky to even get that.
The new player on for the West Coast Eagles is number 37, and that is Braden Lyle, who was recruited from Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide, that's right.
Along with Shane Bond, who's another ex-Port Adelaide player playing for the West Coast Eagles.
Ben Hart. Maynard in front of Lewis. Good mark.
Now this is where Chris Lewis has to be careful, because he quite often does infringe in those sort of situations and gives away a 50-metre penalty. But much better on that occasion,
In
Dennis.
fact, Bernie, the emergency umpire was coming onto the ground during the course of that kick-in, and he was watching that pair.
Jarman. Did he have the ball when tackled? Finally gets a hand pass out. McKenna gets bumped off it by Tregenza. And we'll see a bounce just about on the centre circle. 10 minutes left in the third term.
Ryan Turnbull preparing to come back on for the West Coast Eagles.
Brown applies a tackle. Pike to Matera. Peter Matera, who's been in everything tonight. Hart has it punched away by Sumic. He has to do the job of a defender. Hart turns on a triply bit. Beautifully done, Ben Hart. Kicks the ball out wide in the direction of Spinks and Lewis, so they should be able to gain a possession here. Spinks will do the shepherding for Chris Lewis. He tried to get around Hart. Great tackle. Was it high? Umpire says free kick.
For holding the ball.
He ducked the head, he said. Yes, that's what he indicated. That's what he does.
Well, I don't think he did. I think he ducked it after the tackle had been applied, Peter.
Mind you, Lewis saw Evans on in the middle and decided to take on the man who was chasing, didn't he?
Yes, he did that. He had every opportunity to get rid of the ball, but the initial tackle was high before he did duck his head.
Quite right.
McDermott with the kick from half-back, and he kicks it to centre wing.
Big pack out there. The leaper was Rashudo. This is Groom, somehow emerged through that pack. Well done by Liptak. Knocks it down to McGuinness. McGuinness on the 50. Here's trouble for the Eagles. He normally gets these. Not this time. He's getting plenty of the ball. 23 possessions now. Tony McGuinness, best and fairest for the Crows last season, after the two previous seasons being runner-up.
He's been a great player, hasn't he? For both Footscray and for the Adelaide Crows. Tony McGuinness will turn 30 in May.
And I think the best rover in the competition.
Yes, by far.
Pike has it. Goes out wide. And this mark is held by Jakovic. When Jakovic having an interesting duel with Groom, but winning so far. Kicks towards the wing. Up was Ross. It runs free behind. Pittman gets back. Lays it off to Jarman. He goes to Lee. Lee looks down the ground. Finds McDermott. So the old firm involved there. Jarman, Lee and McDermott.
Well held up there by Peter Wilson too.
McDermott down towards half forward. Not a particularly good kick. Don't know who it was intended for. McIntosh came up to meet it. Over the ball is Pike. He was taken helpless as the umpire. One of the few Australian rules players to be born in Illinois. Comes across the ground and McKenna has it. No, it's going back.
17 and 3 for Pike tonight.
I would think probably the only Australian rules player to be born in Illinois, Dennis.
50-minute penalty.
Harding comes off, Turnbull on to do the ruck work for the West Coast Eagles.
Yes, we can't think of any more. They've stumped us completely now, that one.
Good stats there for Don Pike.
They are good, aren't they?
18th kick coming up.
This is Wilson. Kicks to half forward. Sumic. Only a good mark under pressure there. Bickley. Out of bounds. In front of the trainer's bunker on the outer side.
Sumic being forced a long way from goal there by the close attention of Ben Hart, doing a pretty good job playing at fullback for the Adelaide side.
Spinks and Pittman go at it. Picked up by Ross. Ross lobs the kick up towards midfield. Groom over the top. Liptak. What can he do here? Gets it back to his teammate down there, and Chris Groom, a high kick. Umpire's found a free kick.
A relayed free, that one, Peter, for the infringement after the player kicked the ball there for the Adelaide side.
It's going to be taken by David Brown. David Brown from still inside the square. That's indicative that he started on the bench, but he's done fairly well. And well, that ball maybe is slippery, as you mentioned, Bernie, with perspiration and what have you. One that he normally would have taken. Tregenza takes the hand pass, slips his opponent at half forward. Not a long kick, and the ball bounces out of bounds 3 metres from the behind post for a throw-in in the Adelaide Crows right forward pocket. 7 minutes left in the third term.
Well, he probably still should have taken that one, Modra. He made the lead and got the couple of metres break on his opponent, Ashley McIntosh. Did all the hard work and then let it slip through his fingers.
Groom and Turnbull, the two number 50s, go at it. And Turnbull has kicked one goal for the West Coast tonight, punching it out of bounds, gaining about 10 metres for his side. Adelaide leading 63-56. Turnbull again. Good tackle. Ball spills free. Umpire says play on. It's a West Coast free kick. He calls play on. Hart does just that. Kicks up towards Chris Lewis. Got a fingernail to it. Couldn't pick it up. Now it's Visca. Visca straight down the ground. Good long kick. 55 metres. Huge pack of players down there. None can bring it down. Jakovic tries to go for the hand pass. McGuinness beats Braden Lyle for it.
He'll get the free kick too, Tony McGuinness, putting his body in front and deserving that one. Tony McGuinness playing a great game again tonight, coming up for kick number 20.
19 and 4 so far as we watch it in replay. Lyle just getting into his back, and McGuinness a pass master at that. Got one earlier in the night for a similar indiscretion by an opponent. High kick towards half forward. Rasciuto, will he give a hand pass to Brown? No, gets onto his left foot, snapshot for goal, well off target and through for a minor score. So the Crows doing most of the attacking in the latter stages of the third term.
Yes, when you think back, the first 8 goals came in about 15 minutes. Suddenly it's a game of defences. As this kick in favours Pike up towards left half back. All the time in the world, he kicks towards the wing. Not a particularly good kick, although Evans runs to space. It'll work out okay for the Eagles, at least in the short term. And he was pushed in the back and will get the free kick on the outer side. Not much to that one. He's forward of left centre wing. And it's 9-10 to 8-8. Tony Evans kicks inside the 50, intended for Sumich, but Lee, in characteristic fashion, drifting across in front of the full forward, claimed the mark and sends Hart away. Hart comes Mimba's side. Tregenza, nicely done. Keeps in front of Lyle, soccers off the ground down towards centre half forward. Tony Hall comes up to meet it, gets it across to Brown. Now Brown runs to the 50. It's a question of accuracy. This ball is swinging left to right, going back. Jakovic did well, got a fist on it, finds the ball on the ground and breaks away through the pocket, kicks it towards the outer side. Rebound opportunity now for the Eagles. Pike gets it across to Hart. They're exposed around the outer side, but Hart elects to go to the middle and as a result finds Lee.
And very little happening for the West Coast Eagles around the half-forward line.
Lee to the outer side. Jarman, so the roles reversed again. Back come the Crows. Jarman is centering kick, sets it up for Modra. McKenna comes in from the side and takes the mark. Chips it out wide. Mainwaring is at right half back. Lewis is breaking for him. Good aggressive running by Chris Lewis, close to the boundary line, and the ball does go out of bounds.
Interesting, McKenna wearing a glove tonight too, but as you said, Bernie, with a slippery ball. 64 to 56.
The perspiration would make it very difficult at this stage, Pete. They've certainly slowed down a lot in the second half.
The Eagles,
the marks dropped too.
It has been their Achilles heel centre half forward, hasn't it? Jarman, Brown.
Well, McIntosh can play there, Peter, without any problems, but then again, who's going to play on Tony Modra?
You've got
Can't
Hines.
play him in 2 places at the one time.
Hines out, of course. He can play there. Mark dropped by Spinks. Bickley in front. Good shepherd by Ross. Badly directed kick. Brennan will get back there quickly. So too will Hart. Well, we try to get it to Brennan. Turns nicely David Hart onto Wilson, the veteran. Wilson still inside 50. Low trajectory kick up towards Pike. Got one too high. The 2 number 10s clash and Pike will take the free kick. Coming up for his 20th kick now, matching Tony McGuinness in that regard. To Peter Matera from midfield. Well, Mainwaring drops what he certainly should have taken. Looking for a free kick. Not going to get it from the umpire. Overrocks the ball as he tried to kick it off the ground. It stayed there. Tregenza picked up the crumbs well. Tony Hall, Mark, free kick.
Chris Mainwaring there just had it spent before he came onto him, but certainly limping. He may have done a hamstring, Chris Mainwaring. I think he'll be coming off.
Yes, he is coming off. No doubt about the free kick to Tony Hall.
Yes, Mainwaring coming off for the West Coast Eagles.
Well, they've had a bad run with injuries tonight. Of course, Wellman went off.
He did appear to be clutching at the right hamstring there, Chris Mainwaring, and back on his Schofield.
Clearly told us that Wellman had a broken wrist, so that's bad luck for him as well. Hall kicks through that one well. Might be just off target. Hasn't quite made it. Was the goal? No, he's indicated one behind. So put that down as a rush behind. Came off the hands. And Guy McKenna, the gloved one. 9-11 to 8-8. Adelaide leading 65 to 56. Closing stages of the third term. Hart goes in short. I've seen him kicking better than that. Jakovic got into the back of Groom, picks the ball up well, lobs it along the ground virtually. Anderson leading in the race for the ball.
With Matera, they both fall over. It's Bickley arriving quickly. Down went Bond. Interesting kick while he was lying on the ground, and the ball is out of bounds on the outer side.
I think that's why Mark Bickley's been named the Deputy Vice Captain. We saw the intensity of that tackle there on Shane Bond.
Just a terrific player, Mark Bickley. And fearless.
Absolutely.
Thrown in on the outer side. Deftly done there by Turnbull. Directing it down to Matera. High kick towards half forward. Back went Visca. He can't control it. And a whistle. So a bounce on the half-forward line for the West Coast Eagles. And as we say, the defence is right on top here. In fact, in this term, we've seen just 2 goals kicked. it should be pretty quick. 20 minutes plus time on. Evans feeds it back, taken by Pike. Pike from 55 metres out. Sumic, up he goes, couldn't hang on. Who's got the better recovery? Sumic is in there, Hart's over the top. Schofield got a foot to it, showing great courage was Lee. Sliding across the boot of Clapper, who certainly was flirting with the idea of soccering it. He didn't, and now they're comparing injuries in the dugout there. Langdon's face, I think, tells the story. He's not a happy camper, and Mainwaring joining him. They're both commiserating as this ball runs out of bounds in the opposite pocket after that boundary throw-in, so it will be thrown in once more. And that's bad because I made the point earlier, Langdon won game last season, Mainwaring only 10, and already in trouble to start the new season. Pittman goes up, directs it down. McGuinness, terrific work. McGuinness close to the boundary line. It spills out of bounds, but he did his job.
I think it'd be fair to say, Dennis, they would be in the Eagles' best 20.
I think so.
So throw in close to the behind post. As the clock ticks down to three-quarter time, Spinks in front. McGuinness still can't handle it. Gets taken over the line by Schofield for another boundary throw-in. Crows leading by 9 points. Gee, well, the Foster's Cup's been terrific so far. We've had 2 thrillers, and it looks as though this one's going to go right down to the wire as well. Pittman in front. Spinks over the back. Knocked down to Ross. He couldn't handle it. Might get a second go. He does. Umpire has found a free kick. And it's going to the Crows. Pittman takes it. Very, very short to Tregenza. That might have been a high one. Yes, it was. It'll be taken by Lyle. And Wilson will have to bring it back. If he doesn't get the nickname Sandy, I'll walk home. Kicks inside 50. McGuinness close to man of the match. He and Don Pike. Well, Sumic caught one there in close. Lewis in front. Hart right there with him. Gee, that was nearly a throw. McGuinness again from Pittman. Out it comes to Shane Bond. Off target. One behind again. Might be the last kick of the third term. There's just 30 seconds to go. 9-11 plays 8-9. 65 to 57. And as Dennis mentioned, defence is right on top during the third quarter. Lee will bring it back. Kicked a beautiful goal earlier. Scott Lee. And gets plenty of distance with this kick. No one can take the grab. McDermott. Quick hand pass. Pittman. A knock on. Tregenza to Jarman. Time running out. Can the Crows get a score? Jarman's kick. McIntosh underneath it. Jakovic will do the tidying up work. Right on the boundary line. 55-metre kick. And the mark taken out there by Peter Matera.
He goes short. Turnbull, but I think they're out of time. Turnbull has the ball on the wing. Goes down towards left half forward. The siren should sound. Up in front, Lee. There it is. Three-quarter time at Football Park. And certainly it was a struggle of defences, as we said, both of them right on top in that term, despite the efforts of that man, although he worked hard in defence as well. Tony McGuinness, who's had more possessions than any other player on the ground, 25 to three-quarter time. So the Crows lead 9-11-65. The West Coast Eagles are 8-9-57. Back shortly.
From Wagga, Barassi Sydney Swans take on Footscray. Then Carlton meet Hawthorn. A Foster's Cup double-header this Saturday on 7.
They've led at every break. They continue to lead the Adelaide Crows, 65-57 at three-quarter time. Tony Modra's got 3 goals, Hall 2. They didn't add in that last term. In fact, both sides just added a goal, as you can see. And for the West Coast Eagles, their principal goal scorer, an unlikely one, John Worsfold, has 2.
There wasn't a great deal of rah-rah from the coach for both sides, and they were more interested in trying to get their team pattern place right. Graham Corns in particular realised he's a quick man short. He's got 3 players on the bench. Neither of them are very quick, whereas Malthouse has the luxury of 2 quick players, although he's lost 2 with injury. The big thing there was that Pittman was getting his hand to the ball a lot more in the centre bounces, but he lacks the knowledge of field play such as Wren. This game's going to go right down to the wire, and it's just a matter of which team makes the least number of mistakes that will win the football match.
Okay, thanks, Neil. Mistakes and pace, according to Neil Curley. And how do you see the pace factor figuring in here, Bernie?
And fitness, I would think, also a very important factor, Dennis. But I think around midfield, Adelaide certainly got on top again in the second half of that third quarter. Matera, well, he's very dangerous when he gets out on his own, but Anderson also having an impact on the game. Tregenza having a good battle on his wing also. He had a fairly large influence for the Adelaide Crows in that term, but I think they're pretty evenly matched as far as the pace goes. It's just the backing up and the very quick hands that the Adelaide side has around that middle of the ground.
So, can one forward line come to the party in this term and decide the issue? Modra and Hall certainly look most dangerous. Well, in keeping with the competition so far, Collingwood defeated North Melbourne by a point. Richmond and St Kilda took it to extra time, and now it's very tight at Footy Park. Terrible bounce. It comes to Turnbull, and the Eagles come forward inside their 50. Going back is Lee. Coming up is Schofield. Took it nicely. He's 30 metres from goal. He's slung. That may help him. It's gone through for a goal. Well, that's a good start for the West Coast Eagles. And suddenly, there's only 2 points in it.
Well, I can thank the central umpire there for that goal, because the bounce was very ordinary. We see there Turnbull taking that ball out of the ruck contest, mainly because that bounce certainly disadvantaged the Adelaide ruckman there in Sean Wren. It bounced straight into the hands of Ryan Turnbull, which is just a terrible bounce by the umpire.
That's the way it goes, Bernie. Jared Schofield attacked the ball with endeavour and was rewarded. And a Bronx cheer for the umpire. I don't know whether it was the same one that bounced it, but it was a much better one. McKenna couldn't take the mark. It was a free kick, though. A holding decision going to McKenna. And with 2 gloves on, he'll take the free kick. McKenna kicks out wide. Taken out there by Braden Lyle. Port Adelaide recruit. That'll be in the back as well. Spinks from right centre wing. And the mark taken by Ryan Turnbull, one of the Eagles' goal kickers tonight. Too far out to score with that kick. Decides to centre it. Punched away by Maynard. Quick hand pass by Bond. Gets it down to the direction of Clappe. He goes goalwards. Oh, that's a beauty! Full points. 2 quick goals to the Eagles in the final quarter.
Piece of play there by the new player there on screen. Playing in his first game, Shane Bond for the West Coast Eagles, a former Port Adelaide player, who we see has been very impressive, a very pacey player. Get that hand pass over the top there to Clappe, and that is a great kick for goal. Very difficult angle on the run there, Matt. Clappe hasn't been all that busy tonight, but very important goal at that stage of the game.
So 2 quick goals and the Eagles lead by 4 points. Debris is not a factor. Another bad bounce taken by Evans. Very high kick, gained about 25 metres. Up goes Lewis. Serrano almost completed the mark. In fact, it's paid. Crow in front of Crow behind, but Lewis did very well. To Pike, in space, about 75 metres from goal, goes long. Schofield from behind, works his way in front, didn't touch the ball. Lee goes back and sockers it through for a behind.
Just at that centre bounce, Dennis, the umpire, for the second time, a shocking bounce went to the right of screen. I mean, why aren't the Adelaide players spreading themselves around that centre bounce? They certainly seem to be standing all on the left-hand side of screen every time the ball's bounced in the centre.
Anderson's got the ball. Problem is, of course, if he bounces it well, then the coach will scream at them for showing initiative. They've got to be where they're put. Here's Wiedemann. Wilson's got it. Now I agree with what you're saying. Wilson kicks inside the 50. It's all Crows down there. And his knees Wren. Emerging champion goes short to McDermott. Man who stood the test of time. Just forward of half-back. Genza on for the short one. Ignored. Swings it out very wide to Jamison.
Just on the ground, Dennis, replacing Jonathan Ross.
Had to man up in that situation, just sneaking on. Short one to Wiedemann. 10-10 the West Coast, 9-11 the Crows. Wiedemann onto that left foot, goes long. Modra's got the run. Hall goes up in front. Modra opted out, tries to soccer it off the ground, taken by Lyle. This kick is out wide. Pike wants it to come down in a hurry. It gets down in time and he's taken the mark up from right half back. Nothing on down the ground with the exception perhaps of the man in short who'd run on. That's Lyle. Mike Bond, drafted 2 seasons ago by the Eagles, chose to play for Port Adelaide last season. Evans, did he mark it? Yes, he did. Tregenza took the ball from him and was off and running. Now it comes to Turnbull, who plays a little 1-2 here with Evans. Whoops, couldn't get his traction and got his comeuppance. Chance for Jarman on the up, gives it to Tregenza. Tregenza inside the 50. McIntosh battles there with Modra. In goes Hall, pushed over by Brennan, taken by Groom. Didn't find the mark with the hand pass. Modra back to goal. They stay off him. Goes with the outside of the boot and kicks his fourth. He liked it.
Club goal, but well battled on by Tony Hall. 10-11 to 10, 10 a point the difference.
4 goals now to Tony Modra. He's kicked 1 in each quarter. You'll see this in replay. The turnover in the middle very costly there for the West Coast Eagles. Fiddling around with the handball. The one over the top just sat up there for a long time and gave the Adelaide players some sort of chance. And there we see that banana kick coming from the boot of Tony Modra.
He did like it. 4 goals to Tony Modra. And another thriller in the Foster's Cup with 16.5 minutes left in this match. 71 to 70 in favour of Adelaide. Again, the Bronx cheer for the umpire. The ball went straight. Anderson with a quick kick, but it's a real up and under. Wiedemann in front. Was he held? Crow supporters saying yes, and he will get the free kick. The Weed. And you certainly wouldn't pinch his beer in a pub. Wiedemann to right half forward. Modra to Hall. The 2-pronged attack of the Crows. Hall has just about kicked it into the park. Couldn't swing around quickly enough, Tony Hall. He has done a pretty good job there tonight. Modra's got 4, Hall has got 2. The major contributors tonight for the Adelaide Crows. Jakovic kicks in. Over the top, Wren. Finds Wiedemann. Charges through. Beautifully done. Long, raking left foot. A beauty. Goal. Love him. But Weed gets the goal. Wiedemann kicks his first, and Wade Wiedemann, a bit of a cult hero here. 7 points the difference.
He did spend a fair bit of time with that interchange bench in that third term. Just came on in that last quarter there. You see just breaking through that tackle of David Hartz very easily. And the cult hero here at Football Park in Adelaide, kicking a wonderful goal on his left foot.
Goals coming in batches of 2. The West Coast Eagles got the first 2 of the term, and the Crows have hit back solidly. Up goes Wren, knocks it down into the path of Bickley. Heavy collision between Bickley and Lyle. Jarman's hand pass sent out wide to accommodate Tregenza, who knocks it on into the path of Rashudo. He's been quiet by his standards tonight. He's on the wing. He pulls it back towards centre half forward. The Crows lead in all directions to the ball. Bad luck for Hall. Jarman now a chance. Robbed of it by Brennan. Another whistle. Brennan to get the free. It's across the ground, taken by McKenna, up from the back pocket. 11-11 Adelaide. West Coast 10-10. This is Pike. Don Pike, right half back on a very hot night. Comes to Turnbull. Temperature still in the mid-20s.
About where Pike's kicks tally is now, 23.
I'll lead you in any time. Turnbull down towards half forward. Maynard comes across. It bounces off his chest. It's taken by Clapper. Smothered off the boot by Lee. It goes out of bounds. Out of side.
Great smother there by Scotty Lee.
Used sparingly tonight. Came on to kick a goal early in the game, late in the opening term. And back back in defence. Wren to Tregenza. Tregenza close to the boundary line. Through centre wing. McKenna soccers it forward. Did pretty well to keep it in front. Pike, who's been very busy. Turnbull, who's been good. To Hart. So this game very much in the balance. Hart's kick not particularly good. And now, speaking of, Lee gets back to claim it.
Swanning B. Inside 50. Looks for Jamison. Like many of his teammates, has had a stint on the bench tonight. Did well down there to Visca. Anderson looking hand pass. Oh, Evans, terrific hip and shoulder down there on Bickley. Umpire lets it go, very willing. Turnbull takes it from Banfield. Marking contest, none can bring it down. Lee first to recover. And again, over to Jamison. Rod Jamison's kick into space on centre wing. Hard if the ball bounces for him, it doesn't. It propped emergency umpire out onto the field.
Yes.
See who he was speaking to, Mr. Dim.
Yeah, broke up a fight between Matera and Visca, so we've got more umpires on the ground now that we can poke a stick at. They're everywhere.
They're going for the record, are they?
What is the collective noun for umpires? A whistle ring.
Gaggle.
An ambush, I think.
That's right.
Play continues. And it's a chain of hand passes. Ends up with Anderson. Anderson long to Tregenza. Could have run a little bit further. Tregenza long raking kick down towards full forward. Ball punched clear. And the glove on McKenna does the tidying up work. Away from Jarman. Up towards Lyle. Bit Hart. Lee again. Oh, he was a little bit too slick for him. Hart went before he got it. Little fellow's done all right since he's come on to Bond. To Schofield, another rookie, not a great kick, opportunity again for Hart. Heard the footsteps and got out of it quickly, beautifully done, great skill from Hart. It is out of bounds and gets a pat on the back for his efforts from Jamison.
He's a terrific player, isn't he, Peter?
Yep.
And still only 19 years of age, Ben Hart.
All Australian honours already. Not much of him, but I tell you what, he goes in.
I tell you what, he seems like he's been around forever. Still only 19 years of age.
Cross
Has played 42 games with the Adelaide Crows.
Wren to Maynard, to Anderson. 9-5 his stats. Seen a little bit better than that tonight. He's been a terrific contributor. Brennan run out from goal, takes the mark.
Been a good duel, that one. Brennan and Hall. Hall's got a couple of goals. Brennan trying to focus. Comes across to Turnbull. Forward of half back. Again, this ball going end to end now. Neither side can establish very much. Lee determinedly gets the hand pass across to Maynard and runs it out. Kicks wide towards the wing. McGuinness comes on the lead. Juggled mark. Well done. Tony McGuinness, possession number 26 upcoming. His 21st kick sends it down towards the half forward line. Wiedemann is down there. In front, Wilson did well. This is Rashudo back to goal. Concedes about 15 metres. Anderson feeds it back again to McGuinness. McGuinness kicks in towards centre half forward. McKenna and Jarman. And the free kick will go to McKenna.
Hot on the Guernsey, according to the umpire there, against Jarman.
As it comes to Hart. Hart's at right half back. 11-11, 10-10. The Crows lead. Awkward half volley for Clappe, who left it behind, then was pushed in the back. Tregenza's got it. Well done. Lee running out of space. Was he pushed in the back?
Kick, surely.
He will.
He's been great in this last quarter, Dennis. Very solid in defence has been Scott Lee.
Had a couple of disappointing quarters in the final round last year, but had a marvellous season.
Here we see that free kick being awarded. They're holding very firmly. We see that clearly in the replay there against Jarman.
Tregenza. Oh, terrific mark, Bondra. He's kicked 4 goals already and has combined beautifully with Tony Hall, who's kicked a couple. Really has given them a 2-pronged attack. Been a great duel though with McIntosh. He's had to earn every kick and every mark. You don't get easy kicks on Ashley McIntosh, and that was a gem of a mark.
Certainly was, Peter. He's kicked 150 goals in his career in only 31 games, which is fantastic, isn't it?
It's great strike rate.
Average. Tony Modra.
Tony Modra for his 5th. Be handy if he gets it for the Adelaide Crows. Looks good, he's got it. Still 10 minutes left, but 13 points. And looking at the overall situation from this match, that is a very good lead.
It certainly is. Here we see Modra just using his body well there again. Terrific overhead, as we know from last year. Of course, took the mark of the year, Tony Modra. Worked his way to the front there against McIntosh and the other big fellow there in Ryan Turnbull. Very strong overhead mark. Terrific work by Modra.
It was 10 points the difference at quarter time, 7 at half time and 8 at three-quarter time, with the Crows leading. And they're now leading by 13 points, so that's a pretty good lead. Looking at this match overall. Matera from centre wing. Wiedemann in pursuit. Back to Wilson. Kick us down to half forward. Harding takes the mark. Stint at Hawthorn, stint at St Kilda. They're playing his best football now. Back with the Eagles. Paul Harding slews up the side of the boot slightly. The Eagles need a goal quickly to stay in touch. If Adelaide get the next one, it might just be about be shut the gate. Schofield, the rookie, across his body with the right foot, going close but not close enough, and there he is again, Ben Hart in the back pocket to take the mark.
He's given Sumich a bath tonight, actually, with Wellman being injured early, but Ben Hart, what a player.
Terrific. Across the ground, this is Brown. Now, I'm not sure that Wiedemann hasn't been reported. At least he's been spoken to by the reserve umpire, the emergency, who went out to the ground. Meantime, on the outer side, the Crows almost turn it over. Rashudo goes nicely eventually, makes the best of a tough situation. Back to Visca, who finds Hall, and you get the feeling now that the Crows may have broken the resistance. It comes down towards Modra through his fingertips. Oh, clever hand pass. Wiedemann running into an open goal, took it from Groom and misses.
And in the end, I think he could have given the hand pass there to Tony Modra. Possibly could have run another 10 metres anyway.
I don't think it crossed his mind.
No, not at all.
A bit like the haircut he should have had yesterday.
Still the advantage, 14 points now to the Adelaide Crows, so maybe it won't prove all that costly.
His belt has gone broke, I think. Matera from McGuinness. Both of them fine contributors for their clubs tonight. Jamison, good fist away, past Banfield. Harding finally will look for a hand pass. Matera's made good position. Wilson steals it from him. Around Anderson, but only just. That's holding the ball. Great tackle. He's brought in by Mark Rashudo, who will take the free kick just off the edge of the centre square. Terrific tackle. We saw Ben apply a gem earlier.
Well, getting around that first tackle there, but gang tackling being applied there by the Adelaide Crows.
It was the second best of the night. Renz was the best in the first quarter. Wiedemann again. Well, can he make a match? He's just liable to kick this.
Well, he may be just too far out. He's kicking from around about the 55-metre mark.
Don't put it past him. Long left footer. It'll go close. Just off hands and through for a rush behind. Brendan has a slight disagreement there. So another point to Adelaide. With 8.5 minutes left, 15 points, so effectively 3 goals that West Coast has to get. And in this very tight game, goals are a rare commodity. 8.5 minutes to get 3 goals. Well, a possibility, but you'd have to say in the context of this clash that it might be a tall order. Pike has certainly been one of their best. Kick number 24.
Matera, centre half back, comes across the ground, intended I think for Lyle and or Schofield. Schofield gets it. Thinks about the hand pass, now runs on, kicks towards centre half forward. Look out, a clash coming up. No, Evans gets around Lee, confronted by Hart. Still it's Evans, about 20 metres from goal to Bond. They need a goal and he presents it.
Second goal to Shane Bond. And they're the second West Coast Eagle to kick 2 goals tonight, the other being their captain, John Worsfold.
Potentially, he looks a good player, doesn't he?
He does. He's very pacey, which is, of course, a very big asset playing this game. Australian rules football with play with pace has a huge advantage, but he's got the class to go with it, I think, this young fellow from Port Adelaide. And he kicks his second goal for the evening. And still Sumich at full forward without a goal for the Eagles.
These are 2 very good sides, and the West Coast Eagles will not go away. They trail by 9 points. Harding decisively gets it down. Evans towards half forward. Good grab is held by Turnbull. So they're changing the big men at the present time at centre half forward. Here's Pike on the overlap from 50. Long attempt, good attempt. It's another goal.
Pike gets his first, and they come back again. But the man that's not out there tonight, number 22, David Hines, will he still be their best bet at centre half forward, Dennis?
Well, I don't know. He's had a number of seasons to establish himself. It hasn't happened for one reason or another. I like him, but he doesn't seem to be in favour.
I like him very much. You can throw him in the ruck also. And I tell you what, it'd be quite handy to throw it full forward tonight too, Dennis, because there's nothing happening there.
So the two key forward posts, they're down. Well, this game's come alive again. Only 3 points the difference now, 85 to 82, 7.5 minutes left, just when we thought the Eagles might have been a spent force. Evans gets the hand pass back to Don Pike, and what a terrific game he's playing. Superbly fit. Bond overruns it, bit hard again. Away he goes. There may be a whistle here. Players coming back. Sumich having words with the umpire, who was saying holding.
Well, he's halfway down the break. Isn't that not a bit?
Well, I made the point here during the break, and I hate to say I told you so, but there seem to be less advantages with these three umpires. I think they're too close to it and perhaps can't assess the advantage in some situations.
Yeah, I don't think they've been great tonight. It hasn't been a great success of three umpires.
Mashuto had it, Wiedemann has it, and now Peter Matera has it after the hand pass came from Turnbull up to the 50-metre line, and Schofield, the rookie. I like the look of him too. Played one game last year, and we still call him a rookie. Off the hands of the pack, they all lose sight of it. Wren, long looping hand pass to Bickley. Oh, Wren, making hard work of this. Bond, can he kick another one? Snapshot is there, it goes across goal. And Scotty Lee will be hoping for a favourable bounce. He gets one. Now he got one from Wilson as well. Still he goes, and finally gets it to Anderson. So well done, great ball skills.
McGuinness off for the Adelaide side, has been replaced by Matthew Liptak.
And away they go again, Adelaide. This is Brown around the boundary line. Tony Hall can't take that one. Jarman will look for a hand pass. Deftly done. Tregenza. Modra! Great mark, and they brought that all the way from fullback. And the hand passes again.
He's a champion, this bloke, isn't he? Tony Modra. Great pass there coming from Tregenza.
What about the hands of Jones? Oh, yes.
Very quick. 108 handballs to 62 in favour of Adelaide.
That really is the history of these two teams, isn't it, in recent seasons? You'd expect that, but it's quite a margin.
It's the only one that's really of any interest because the rest of them are so close. Tony Modra, he's kicked 5 already. Hall's got 2. That one drifting across the face, maybe a behind, and so indicates the goal umpire. So another point to the Adelaide Crows in this thriller at Football Park, the doubleheader. 86 now to 82. The margin is 4 points with 5.5 minutes remaining in this match.
Official attendance tonight, 28,776, and we talk about parity in the AFL. Well, Foster's Cup is anything to go by. We've got some very even teams in this competition. Terrific mark by Jakovic, who plays on, comes across the ground to Harding. So they've gone for size in the final term, Michael Malthouse. Will it get them through? There's the mark held by Evans. He's forward of the wing. The margin is 4 points. The Crows' way. On short is Wilson. Now Wilson can take it and go. Goes over the man, headed for the hole. Schofield was running into it. It carried beyond him. Sumich has a half chance. Coming across Bickley. Crashes in and gets it across the boundary line.
Interesting, Tony McGuinness off at this stage of the game, Dennis.
Probably
exhausted. He's had plenty of the ball. He probably is actually exhausted. Well, I don't think he was injured when he came off.
Given these conditions, I mean, it's a calculated decision by the coaches, really, isn't it? Here we are, the end of February. Is it worthwhile running a player into the ground, even for big money? Lyle gets it across to Bond. A long way to go in the season. Bond's kick is a long one too. It's good. The Eagles back in front.
And Bond, the leading goal kicker, he's kicked 3.
Yes, including 2 in this last term. 2 invaluable goals from Shane Bond, a former Port Adelaide boy. And he has been very impressive in his first match with the Eagles tonight here at Football Park in Adelaide. Another handball mistake though from the Adelaide Crows, which is usually their strength. Wiedemann made one a little bit earlier when he handballed behind his teammate, and there was another one.
Well, in the term, the Eagles may have looked a spent force, but gee, they've come back well. Kicked 3 good goals. Evans had a fresh air shot, tried to punch it. Harding did likewise. It comes to Anderson. Anderson wobbles one out of the pack. Jarman, good use of the body to get rid of his opponent, McKenna. Brennan had it kicked away by Brown. McKenna goes at him. Good hip and shoulder to put him out of business. Guy McKenna. There's going to be a free kick. Umpire says in the back. Well, that may have been a little tough, but arguably correct. Brown. McIntosh, well, he missed what he certainly should have taken. Hart gives him good backup support, but a badly directed kick, and Brown takes the mark again. Over to Wren. We unload with a long bomb if he can. He has. It's going long. Modra's got the sit. Just can't quite take it, and off the hands and through for one behind. Oh, and Jakovic got one right in the kidneys, I think.
I think he copped a boot from Modra. He had the fly there, Tony Modra.
87 to 88. Well, will we see extra time again, Bernie?
Well, they've been very close, haven't they? The evenness of the competition really coming to the fore in this Frosters Cup competition.
Well, if this form is maintained during the year, the final eights will be very even. Wiedemann can't take the mark.
We'll get the free kick interference there awarded against the West Coast Eagles player. I think Evans, the player infringing there on Wayne Wiedemann.
The Weed, too far out to score. Centres it. I don't know whether that was the intention or not. Modra comes out. Brown stabs it, goal, and has missed. Well, scores. Oh, Bottom's come over the fence. See,
that's pretty sensible.
Pretty low stuff. The only person in danger of hitting the goal umpire, I was about to say scores level. 12-16 to 13-10. 3.5 minutes left in the match. Well, overtime again, a distinct possibility.
And McKenna. McCaudry goes straight down the middle. Rashuda goes back with great courage and takes a spectacular mark.
He's a good player, Rashuda.
Oh, terrific play.
He has got courage, this boy. Mark Rashuda, the former Teal Cupper. There he goes. Terrific effort.
Rashuda kicks from inside the square. Any score will put them in front. Big pack at the fall of the ball. It runs off hands and trickles across the boundary line to be thrown in. Less than 3 minutes remaining. Some people down in front of us are going. Explain that to me. They
must have left the oven on, I think.
Hate traffic. Room gets it down. This is Wiedemann across his body, but only as far as Jakovic, who's been very resolute in the last couple of minutes. Jakovic goes out wide. Harding has had an influence, spills this mark, but he's got some time. Oh, the hand pass towards Hall. Hall needs only a behind to put his side in front to Matt Liptak. Liptak from 40 metres. It pitches in front of the defender. That's Jakovic, who's got some time. He comes away. Kicks it high towards the outer side wing. One out contest out there. Lyle and Tregenza. Now the cavalry arrive. Bickley dragged down by Bond. Gets it across to Jarman. Banfield is there. Jarman's hand pass back to the boy supplied by Bickley. Bickley goes to Jamison. Jamison close to the boundary line. Feeds Tregenza. Tregenza's away. 2 minutes to play. Dragged down. Must be holding the ball.
Great tackle, wasn't it?
Yes, Lyle will get the free on the outer side. Braden Lyle, drafted in 92 by the West Coast Eagles. He's taken his time to go to Perth. It has been valuable tonight. Kicks around the outer side. Up in front is Wren. Off his hands. Lee, who's played well when he's been on the ground, is bustled across the boundary line. The clock stops. 1:46 remaining in this game. Will we see more extra time tonight?
Well, we had a sensation the other night when Johnny Northey ran onto the field, and the league is setting to please explain. The coaches, I think, should know the rules by now. Anderson goes at it with Matera. Free kick going to the west. Now it's going to Anderson. Anderson at left half back. As the clock ticks down, the fans roar. Anderson kick up towards where McKenna tries to punch it clear. Now a chance for Adelaide. Came up from Maynard. Into the goal. Hall. This will do it. Modra. Number 6. A minute 19 left. 6 points the difference. The two combining superbly. The majority of the goals tonight have come from those two.
The replay of the free kick there. Anderson being held. Received a free kick for the holding infringement. David Brown, the hand pass over the top there. It was all set up. It looked like it may have caused some sort of consternation there because it was over the top of Wiedemann. But Modra, he's been a match winner at full forward. 6 goals as compared to Peter Sumich, who hasn't kicked a goal at the other end of the ground.
Yes, it's been the difference, Bernie, hasn't it? So back to the centre. Can West Coast reply? They need a quick goal. Just on a minute left in this match, which has been a ripper from start to finish. Defence is on top in the third quarter. McKenna looks for options, measures them, comes across the ground. He's found Chris Lewis. This might be their last throw at the dice. Long kick by Lewis. Can Sumich make amends? Nearly. No, not the mark. And Adelaide through Wren are going to get clear. 53 seconds left in the match. The ball up towards the centre wing position. Lewis again off the side of the boot. Sumich this time, maybe no. Has to be two. Evans swoops on. Couldn't pick it up. The ball very slippery. And there are about 40 Adelaide Crows, and Fisk is going to come away with a footy.
Big roar at Football Park as he boots to midfield. Brown dropped it. Hart's got him. Liptak a half chance taken away by Banfield. We're down to 30 seconds. Harding pumps it back in. Up in front, Schofield. He's too far out to score. Plays on to Wilson. He measures it 55 metres out. Long kick. They'll contest in the square. Wren, did he touch it? No!
Scott level.
Wren going to have a word with the umpire. He's saying, I did touch that, but the umpire in pretty good position.
It looks like,
I think we've got another one.
It looks like we're going to extra time. Well, what would the odds have been on this? 2 out of 3 to extra time.
Well, this was a good play there from Schofield, realising the tenseness of the situation, handballing it on quickly to Wilson. There's Sean Wren going back. Pretty hard to tell where from that replay whether he touched it or not. But the umpire in a very good position.
He was. Only a few metres from it. Banfield knocks it back. McDermott need to take a mark here. Adelaide siren due to go. Hall couldn't do it. Brennan. That's been a terrific duel. There's the siren. Scores level. Again, we have extra time. Get out the swindle sheet, boys. We're here for a little while longer.
Yeah, we just have to have the goal umpires consult with each other and make sure that the scores are correct, that it has been a drawn game. And then we'll have 2 extra time, 5-minute periods of time on.
Amazing game of football. And full credit to the Eagles. They've been gone a few times tonight, but they've
come back, haven't they?
Yeah, they've hung tough.
Terrific stuff.
Well, I looked all over it, didn't it, when Tony Modra kicked that goal with about 1 minute 14 left on the clock.
Great composure, as you said, Bernie, by Schofield. Just a youngster, one senior game. That was a terrific play. Realised the clock was all but gone. Gave it to Wilson, and Wilson got that long goal. So they really did fight back strongly there, because after Modra's goal, I suppose they could have been forgiven for hanging their heads. They certainly didn't do that. In fact, they made about 4 or 5 sorties forward before they got the goal. There's Tony Modra. Right, 6 goals on the night. He's been outstanding.
So we now have 2 extra 5-minute periods with time on. And the teams, of course, change ends after the first 5-minute period. And no coaches out on the ground either. John Northey, are you listening? The situation is very tense, but the rules are there. And the league has sent directive to all the teams and also to Channel 7 about what should happen.
Now, they start initially as they finish, so the Crows will still run left to right. And the Eagles will go to the end, where we saw Peter Wilson get that long bomb to tie it up over that man who was adamant he touched the ball. Sean Wren. Still, that's history. We've got 10 minutes more. Of course, we saw in that first time on epic, or extra time epic more particularly, Richmond dominated 2 5-minute periods of extra time to eventually skip away and record a good victory over the Tigers.
Well, it must be both dog-tied at this stage, Dennis. Both sides, you can see, well, it's been actually so unpleasant in the commentary position. It's so warm here in Adelaide tonight. Imagine what the players will be going through.
Well, Michael Malthouse has seen many things, but he hasn't been down this road before.
That's fresh ground for just about everybody.
So we're set to go the first 5 minutes of extra time. 13-16 to 14-10 after regulation. So a bonus as far as the Adelaide fans are concerned here tonight. Up goes Harding, gets it down, taken by McDermott. McDermott boots it down towards centre half forward, fisted away by Brennan. Opportunity for Liptak, hasn't had the best of nights tonight. Socked away by Pike. Tregenza leads in the race. He's over the ball and surrounded. Jarman again, those quick hands. Beckley on the wing, nicely done. Assess the options. Gets it to Tregenza. Tregenza inside the 50. Groom sliding on his knees, takes the mark.
Right on the boundary line and right on 50. 4.5 minutes left in this first of 2 extra periods. So Chris Groom. Any score, of course, will put Adelaide in front. Terrific crowd tonight. Landed right in the goal square. and off the hands or fist of Paul Harding and through for one behind. So again, Bottom's come over the fence for the police are on that. You can see them there. Should throw those idiots right out very quickly.
Exactly.
Guy McKenna with the gloves. Again, a great contribution from him. Sort of, when you look at his stats, you think probably hasn't done that much, but 19 and 3 for McKenna. And usually spot on with his delivery, and no mistake here to Jakovic. Brown stands the mark. Over it goes to Lyle. Again, right on the boundary line. Lyle's kick to centre wing. Mark taken by Ryan Turnbull in front of Jamison. Well, the Eagles going the long way home. They fought back tremendously in that last quarter. Wren up one-handed. Good backup support though from Maynard. Lewis has got him. Ball spills free. That will be in the back shortly. Wilson. Long hand pass. Hart, who's beaten Peter Subic pointless tonight. But that's one of his very few blemishes. He's kicked the ball out of bounds on the full, and it's going to be an Eagles free kick. 95 to 94. Adelaide in front by 1 point. And young Bond is going to take it. He's kicked 3 goals, Shane Bond. Port Adelaide recruit, not much of him, but appears to have great skills. Again, right on the boundary, won't make the distance with the kick, lobs it out in front, up they go. Sumic one-handed, Hart comes down, got taken high by Schofield. Hand pass flipped out of the pack, and again, the Crows, through weight of numbers, will bring it away. Anderson goes for the hand pass. Bickley down towards midfield. Mark, the shooter, has it. Not his kick. It's going to be taken by Guy McKenna. McKenna at left centre wing. Hart in the target. And he'll get the Mark Andor free kick with Scotty Lee arriving just a little bit late.
Well, Sean Wren can't afford to give so much latitude there. He's going back to help out in defence, but lurking around centre half forward is Harding.
Harding's gone out wide. Well-weighted kick has found Wilson right on 50. And Peter Wilson, who was instrumental in bringing the West Coast back. Look at the eyes for options. The corner of it. He's going to have a kick.
He'll take a good kick to kick this one. He did kick that winning, well, the goal that caused this time on to be played, Peter Wilson, but this will be a very good kick to kick this one.
The spiral kick didn't quite get onto it the way he would have liked. A real scramble in the goal square. Looks like ringside with the wrestlers. It's going to be a bounce.
Under 2 minutes remaining in this first period of extra time.
I think we might see Sean Wren thump this one through. So scores could be level again after this ball up.
Crows lead by a point at the present time. Wren is up, hence for the boundary line. Schofield hard against the boundary line. Back across the face of goal. It bounces out of bounds in the opposite pocket. So it'll be thrown in, left full forward. Very tense time here at Football Park. Who will go on? Second round of the Foster's Cup. Wouldn't place a bet at the present time. Wren tapped it down, trying to go off the ground. Jamison, Anderson's hand pass, a little untidy, taken by McDermott. Liptak in a 50-50 situation, did very well. Still he goes, Liptak, well played. Runs away from half-back to Anderson, gets by Harding to Jarman. Jarman through the middle, kicks towards half-forward. They've got the numbers down here, the Crows. Up comes Modra, couldn't control it though. Stolen away by Brennan, who comes across the ground to Matera. Matera and Liptak, oh, brilliantly done. They can make something of this. Evans runs on, he's got the ball, he's headed towards half-forward. Under a minute now in this period of extra time. Wren is up. Was he interfered with? Yes, he was. He was taken high. He'll get the free kick.
Done well, Wren. Had a little bit of a rest on the bench, but then again, you can't blame guys for that tonight. Scotty Lee, who's been a good player for Adelaide, over to Jamison. Straight down the ground he goes. Long raking kick up towards Margaret McIntosh with the attempted punch away. Hall's there, his partner in crime, Jakovic, comes in, pounces on the ball. McKenna looking for holding the ball and gets it.
Well, a great tackle there applied by McKenna.
Jakovic comes away. Tregenza underneath it, too far underneath it to take the mark. Little number 20, Shane Bond, beautifully delivered. Harding, 14 seconds to go in this first bit of extra time. Lee underneath it, courage there. Hart again, terrific game from Ben Hart. Maynard, most underrated player, but very solid. Maynard from right half back, there's the siren. 95 to 94. could be either door, boys.
Just a point scored in that first period of extra time, but that's enough for the Crows to have to lead. We'll play the second half of extra time right after this break.
No, it'll never be over till the fat lady sings, and the fat lady sings tonight.
Football Park with the Crows lead by a point. Sean Wren hobbled, as you can see. Peter Sumich is off the ground, although Wren is coming back on. He's taken some treatment. He's moving a little gingerly, but he's back on the ground. Broom is off. Sumich replaced by Spinks. Just the point. 1 point scored in that first period of extra time. Enough for the Crows to lead by that margin after the scores will level at the end of regulation. 13-16 Adelaide, 14-10 West Coast. Second 5 minutes to decide it. Can we break this deadlock? Bounce, not a particularly good one. Harding goes up and hooks it down behind. Evans, the players really getting a test of their fitness tonight. Hart boots it out wide. Anderson gathers it nicely. Away and goes on his right foot down towards half forward. In front was Hall, knocked away by Brennan. On the assist was Rashudo, and the ball eventually goes across the line. Deliberate, says the umpire. A belated decision, but Rashudo's got the free kick just outside the 50. Kicks for the kickoff line. Out comes Modra.
A bit close to mark of the year as well.
He's sensational, this bloke, Tony Modra. Love him here in Adelaide, and you could see why. That was a committed effort by Tony Modra. Have a look at this again. What a leap. He is sensational. Over the top, eyes only for the ball. A very acrobatic effort there by Tony Modra.
The only danger he runs is that these are becoming commonplace. He does it every home game.
I don't think we'll get sick of them, though, Dennis.
Oh, no.
Spectacular, wasn't it?
You almost expect it. How can you expect that sort of return? Just a fantastic mark. Can he kick a goal here? Yes, he can. 7 for Modra. And the lead is 7 points.
Yes, Tony Modra, what a class player. And he's up against very classy opposition tonight in Ashley McIntosh. One of the better performed fullbacks or centre-half forwards or wherever he plays. He's a terrific player, McIntosh, but Modra, how do you stop that? That is terrific acrobatic stuff by the champion Adelaide Crows full forward. Here we see it again, getting the ride over the top. Unstoppable. Held it all the way to the ground.
Yes, McIntosh was on top before half-time, but after the main break, I think it'd be fair to say that Modra's taken the points. And probably the mark of the year again, if you can take it in the Foster's Cup. 7 goals he's kicked. Tony Hall has 2, 101 plays, 94. 350 left in this match. Pittman thumps it forward. Wiedemann gets caught, still gets the hand pass. Jarman to McDermott. Hall this time with Brennan. And then Modra chases the ball to the boundary line, right on 50. The crowd would love to see a replay of that.
I'm still thinking about those people who left early. They missed the mark of the season.
Yes, but I think they left their oven on, Dennis.
And all this extra footing.
They go Jakovic in front. Hart's there. McKenna. McDermott.
In the back,
I think it is.
Chris McDermott.
Evans will take the free kick. The Eagles have to get something quickly. 2 forward thrusts needed really. Three minutes left in the contest. Boundary throw it on centre wing. Pittman and Turnbull. McDermott takes the hand pass from Liptak. Wren with Jakovic. And again, the Crows have the numbers, but no one can bring the mark down. Evans again. Pittman takes the mark on the centre wing in front of Shane Bond. The long and the short of it there. And the Crows will be quite happy just to play keepings off at the moment. Retain possession more. Wiedemann, big fly, trying to outdo Tony Modra, but couldn't bring it down. Certainly got off the ground. And it's going to be a boundary throw in about 55 metres out from goal.
They do look somewhat steadier at the moment, the Adelaide Crows. Just holding a 7-point advantage.
Just over 2.5 minutes to the end of the second period of extra time. Liptak sent away by Wren. The hand pass rather untidy. Down went Harding, and in turn Jarman. He slaps it out wide though. Taken by Hall. In trouble. Pittman. This will do the Crows. Wren too slow. Could almost been holding the ball. Yes, is penalised, and Matera will get the free. So 2 minutes 12 and running down. They need to get it back quickly and move the ball down the ground. The Eagles. Umpire's got his hand up. The clock continues to run. Kick comes from Matera. Well, they've got two players in open space. This is Lyle, who goes down towards the half-forward flank. Clears both Lee and Wilson. Coming up is Visca, confronted by Wilson. It's close to the boundary line. It's out of bounds. It will be thrown in. That was interesting because the clock continued to run, and ours is linked to the official timekeepers when the umpire clearly was signalling time on them.
Yeah, it's just an oversight there by the timekeeper, Dennis.
Pretty important in this situation. Down goes Visca. He was taken high and he'll get a free kick.
Well, there's one from either side there, Dennis, officiating.
All I can say is our boy might have nodded off.
Jet lag, has he?
Obvious free kick there against Peter Wilson.
Time zone. So here's Visca, left half back. High kick towards the wing. Over the top, Pittman got a hand to it, taken by Hall. Clever hand pass, got it to Jarman. Jarman kicks down towards half forward, running back with the flight of it, Clappe. Nicely done, Clappe. Comes away from half back, just over a minute remains.
That Clappe's kick up towards the edge of the centre square. Jamieson, quick hand pass, quick hands McDermott on to Lee. Lee out towards Jarman. They can really sew this up now, the Adelaide Crows. Jarman down towards Modra territory, but it's Wren who takes the mark.
Yeah, the big bloke resting down in the forward pocket now with Pittman doing the ruck work. He has kicked a goal already, Sean Wren.
He's been a good player tonight.
He's completed very well, hasn't he, the big fellow?
Corns has asked a lot of him, and he's answered with 110%.
There's been no doubt about that. He's alternated in the ruck with David Pittman. And Sean Wren with this kick could seal the match for the Adelaide Crows.
Well, any score really will do that. And he's kicked a goal. Sean Wren gets his seconds, and Adelaide will win the match now. With only a few seconds remaining in the contest, 16 seconds to be precise. And like St Kilda and Richmond the other night, with the Tigers coming out victorious, it's going to be the Crows tonight who will emerge as winners after extra time here at Footy Park.
There's that kick from Sean Wren from just inside the 50 metres, from about 46 metres. A very good kick at goal there from the big fellow.
Only 16 seconds remaining, and it will be Adelaide to go to the next round. Good kick by Pike. Up towards half forward, no mark taken by Lee. Ball spills free. Kicked off the ground by Jamieson. Think up toward midfield. This guy's been good too. Tregenza kicks to half forward. There's the siren. The Crows have won it after extra time in the Foster's Cup. And Adelaide will move to the next round of this competition. The Crows running out winners 15-17, 107. Tony Modra waves to his fans.
Well, the umpire hasn't heard the siren because the goal umpire signalling that that was a goal. Waving the flags.
Well, it'll go down.
The umpire now going to have a word with him.
Well, if he's given the all clear, I don't think he can know the score.
No, I don't think he can, no.
Let's see what's happening with the umpire.
The umpire's turned his back on one of the central umpires. He's gone down to talk with him. I don't think he can know that. He got the all clear, I think, from the umpire who didn't hear the siren. So we've had it all tonight.
Despite the three umpires. None of the
They might have been a bit far away to hear the siren. Was just that third umpire.
I was just thinking perhaps the timekeepers were watching the wrong one as well. Interesting, the Eagles didn't score in those 2 periods of extra time. And Adelaide have won by, what is it? It's showing now 19 points. siren, but I think the goal will stand in the context of the game. So 16-17 to 14-10 is showing on the board, and I think that will be official as we go down to Neil Curley.
Yeah, for a game in the middle of February, it was fantastic, and we certainly didn't lead the last 10 minutes of extra time. It was pretty hard fought, and the credit to both sides the way they fought it out.
There's some commitment there by the boys tonight.
Some opportunities. That's the way you got to play. We know the West Coast Eagles play hard footy. You've got to match them in that department, and I thought we held our own.
I reckon the Crows more than hold their own in that department now, because you've got some real strong lads out there.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the Mark Bickleys, the Mark Rashudos, Mark Visca, Simon Tregenza, Matthew Liptak, blokes like that are hard at the footy now. That's all you ask from your 20 blokes that hit the field every week. They're hard at the ball. You win more games than you lose.
The full marks look at the Eagles. They didn't stop trying.
Tremendous side. I mean, they're in for a big year. They've still got a few players to come back in, and they'll be right up there, that's for sure.
Thanks, Chris. All the best.
Thanks, mate.
Two great South Australians down there, Chris McDermott and Neil Curley. I said at the outset that the Premiership coach Kevin Sheedy fancies both these sides. They'll be hard to beat, he said. Well, on what we've seen tonight, I'm inclined to agree with him. Adelaide victorious, 15-17, West Coast 14-10. Coming up shortly, we've got Fitzroy and Geelong. So we've seen it all tonight. Terrific game of football. Great mark by Tony Monra. 2 periods of extra time and 2 very good teams. Thanks for your company. Good night.
This has been a 7 Sports production.
is CNN International.
This is a presentation of CNN Business News.
Live from the world's financial capital, New York City, this is Business Day with Stuart Varney and Deborah Marchini.
Good morning. I'm Bill Hartley. Stuart and Deborah are out today. In its second attempt to lower cable rates in a year, the Federal Communications Commission Tuesday mandated a 7% cut in rates. Regulation uses new benchmark levels and will force 90% of all cable companies to reduce at least some of their prices. As Steve Young reports, the latest rate cut designed to close a loophole in the last government effort that actually allowed some cable company to raise rates.
The cable industry lobbied hard against any more regulation, claiming the first rate cut costed $2 billion. And federal regulators estimate the latest round will cut another $1 billion in revenue.
It's a big deal to them, and it's legitimately a big deal to them. But in the society, you just have to weigh that against the interests of the consumers who are dealing with in a monopoly marketplace.
Cable companies say they're being singled out unfairly, while competing telephone companies are breaking down regulatory barriers and entering the video business.
That is going to affect our ability to add new program networks, to build out our plant, to serve new customers, to be real competitors on the information superhighway with the telephone companies in the not-too-distant future.
Does it put us at a disadvantage? Yes, I think it does. As competition evolves and becomes greater, hopefully those regulatory barriers will be lifted and we'll be able to play on a level playing field.
But consumer advocates in Congress were pleased.
The cable industry will try to raise rates as high as possible. But I think the FCC has laid down a good set of protections that consumers and communities across the country can use to protect themselves.
Wall Street and many cable operators say it's too early to analyze the real impact of the latest rate changes. Complex formulas must be applied to each of some 10,000 U.S. cable systems, and operators have previously shown